What is up, my friends? Let's make sure audios are good for now. Sure, the chats will start rolling in as people come in. What's up, nerd? How you doing, brother? Oh, lovely. Camera decided to fuck off right there at the end. That's on brand. All right, let me see if I can wake this damn thing up. What is it saying? See, this is lovely. All right. I gotta do some troubleshooting here. Bear with me. What is this piece of shit? All right. It woke up over here. There's hope. Close this shit down. If it can break, it will, man. All right. Let's see if we can wake it up on this shit. Hey, I'm back. Yay. What's up, guys? Did you miss me? Yeah. Yeah, I look a little different, right? Oh, look at this beautiful man over here. Yeah, we're gonna be starting this by I haven't watched this yet. Let me go ahead and set the quality up to much nicer. I'm gonna be reacting to SE Holler's thoughts on mining going into 4.7, likely for a lot of the same reasons that I have my own opinions on it, which we'll check out. We're gonna let a few people come back in here. What's up, Hawks? How you doing, brother? I am getting some back end stuff on YouTube finished up, real guys. So get comfy, start thinking about Evocati questions and all after we do our reaction here to SE Hollers. We're gonna, chat about my experience at Evocati, things you guys might have heard, and talk about what's coming in 4.7, allegedly. Whether or not I am happy, sad, all that, this and the other. Let me just get a couple of tags in here. We'll fix these tags later, or make them a bit more on point. Save that. All right. So we're looking good on Twitch and Kick. What's up, Moners? Soggy Quiche. Good to see everybody. You look an awful lot like Sacks of Wine, right? There's a little similarity there. He could be a brother from another mother, for sure. All right, I think we're ready to get into this. Are you? Let's see what our fine man over here has to say about the state of mining coming up in 4.7. Let's give him a full authority here.
Hey folks, welcome back to SE Hollers. I'm Sacks of Wine, and today we're getting into mining in 4.7. Now, I'm kind of disappointed with mining in 4.7. Now, don't let me give you the wrong impression. I think the changes that are being made are very important. If there's one thing that everybody needs to understand here is that this is an MMO. And in order for an MMO to survive, we, the ones that have been backing for a long time, are not going to be able to support Star Citizen forever. We will die off eventually, and then there's going to be a new generation that comes in. Basically, the generation that's going to support Star Citizen in the future, much like in other games like EVE Online, World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings Online, Star Wars The Old Republic, like other MMOs that have survived for a long time.
Anthony, thank you so much for the sub, man.
Is going to be that regular 9-to-5 dad that comes home and they got to go spend dinner with their wife and kids and do all the family stuff, and then they might have an hour to 2 hours to play before they got to go to bed themselves, and then rinse and repeat the next day, right? Though that is going to be our core community. That is what CIG needs to focus on, is making the game more accessible to more people. And with the current mining system, that was not possible. And I understand why they made all these changes. So let's go over the changes real quick. One, for ship minables, all rocks are now 1 resource plus inert. So let me show you an example here of what it's like now. So this is now.
That's pretty cool.
This is from an old video, but this is the current system that's in 4.6. So you have your scan results on the side here. And what I just mentioned, all rocks are now 1 resource plus inert. Inert materials down here does nothing for you. It's just like rock and dirt and bull crap that would go on the ground that you don't really want. And then you have your other material,
space grandpas,
the aluminum. So it would, in 4.7, it's going to be aluminum and inert.
Yeah,
so
we're
in 4.7, it's going to be aluminum and inert, or it's going to be quantanium and inert. And that's essentially what it's going to look like, right? And then if we come over to, we'll use Regolith.
His tabs look just like mine. I love it.
And I guess we could have used asteroids as well. But, and in the current system, you have atacamite, felsic, gneiss, granite. And within each one of these types of rocks, you have a percentage chance to have one of these materials spawn within that type of rock. If this were real life, it would work similar to this, right? Like, obviously, I don't think I think it's more biome based and region based of which material spawns in what type of rock, right? IRL.
Geologically based.
I'm not a geologist. I don't actually know.
I know a little bit.
Imagine that's not how that works. Mostly.
It's a pretty good representation, though.
They have done away with this. So if you want to go find quantanium, guess what you're going to do? You're going to go out there and you're going to look for a quantanium rock.
It's a lot more MMO-like.
If you want to go out there and look for bexolite, you would go look for a bexolite rock. If you want to find gold, you would find a gold rock. Like, all of these minerals are now their own rocks. So it's aluminum plus inert. It's titanium plus inert. It's tungsten plus inert, which is a fantastic change because, like I was saying before, in an MMO, you need to have that lower, and I'm using barrier of entry as an example. You need to have a lower barrier of entry to get people interested, and then you increase that ceiling as they go to make it feel like they're progressing. Unfortunately, and this is where it comes, where my opinion of mining is going to die next patch in 4.7. Unfortunately, that ceiling, that is, it's, how do I explain this? Like, the floor and the ceiling are up here. The floor and the ceiling are up here. Now the floor has been lowered, like below the bottom of my camera. Actually, I don't want to say that low, but let's say it's been lowered down here, right? And the ceiling was up here. Now it's down here. Right there where the floor is at. They've collapsed the building. There is no more building. There's no more ceiling. It's just foundation. And that's it. I feel like we've regressed. I
think that's important, though. I'll get to that.
There is a post on here from one of El Guapo's community members named Trug, T-Rug. I think it's Trug. His recommendation on how to fix what the system currently is in 4.7 is to, you have that baseline quality in 4.7, right? So I think they set it to 200 for this PT or this Evo patch.
Confirmed.
So it's 200 quality.
So real quick, I didn't want to interrupt. I want to just kind of get through this, but so that means if you buy it or you dismantle it, like, for example, for me to finally get the damn crafter to work, which we'll get into after this video, after we watch Sacks of Wine and we talk about this a little bit, we'll talk about all of the other stuff. To dismantle weapons and all, you got a base return of 200 quality, which kind of upper middle average of what you find currently. But yeah, it's the base. That's what you get from dismantling stuff from the shop, all that jazz. So, yeah.
And that's our baseline currently. It's probably going to change. I don't know what it's going to change to, but it's probably going to change. Let's leave the 200 quality as is. Let's just leave it as is. So everything 200 quality and below, people will be able to go out and mine with like your starter ships, your prospectors with like a default loadout, no modules. Like, anybody can go do them, no problems. As you start getting above that base quality, I would love to see, and as Trug put in his post, I want to see that ceiling go higher. So if you get 1,000 quality freaking
which is peak, that's top. Like you're not gonna find that shit top. If you do, go get a lottery ticket.
If you get 1,000 quality titanium rock, I want that to be difficult to crack. I want to be able to crack it. Just I need that puzzle there. Every rock is a puzzle currently in 4.6, and I want to be able to solve that puzzle. So let me explain the puzzle real quick. The puzzle currently, as it stands, is you have to figure out which mining head you want to use on your ship. You have to figure out which modules go on your mining heads. You have to figure out what gadget needs to go on that particular rock. You need to know which mining ships are best for which areas. For instance, using a golem in Nyx is probably not the best idea because resistance and instability is so high on rocks in Nyx. Using a prospector to try and crack a 30K rock. Can it be done? Potentially, but figuring out that puzzle,
work for it, yeah,
and knowing whether you can or can't do something like that is the main thing.
I will also preload that is also considering the current meta, which is get the most valuable thing to make the most money. Whereas what I can tell you, and Saxon Wine probably is in the Evo build, just given what he's talking about, what he knows. But if you did take part in the tech preview, it's not going to be all about just, going to get the Stellaron, the Terranite, the Bexelite, whatever to make money anymore. It's going to be about getting what you need to craft products. So to Saxon Wine's credit here, determining what your goal of the day is. Do I need to get event stuff? Do I need to get mass amounts to turn in for Alliance Aid? Do I want to make mad money? Whatever do I want to do? That is how you then start your puzzle for gearing out your ship to that said thing. Because if you're not going for, crazy Stellaron, Recite, Quantanium, Soverillium, whatever it is at the higher grade tiers, then maybe you do equip a Hofstede with a Torrent 3 and a Focus on it. Well, only a size 1, you only get one attachment there with the Hofstede. If you're on a Mole, throw a Focus 3 and a Torrent 3 on, and then go out and get a bunch of bulk stuff for the Alliance Aid event or something. That's kind of what I'm getting at for deciding your ship, deciding what puzzle you're trying to build. Maybe we'll say that.
And that's the piece that's going to be missing. My puzzle is gone. I no longer have a way to do that and figure.
Yeah, Karza, we'll get into that because my gosh, that was painful.
Out how to crack these rocks the way that they're meant to be. And the reason I say that is because with them reducing the materials from multiple pieces down to just one piece, or
Rebel,
one mineral and inert material, majority of the SCUs or the amount of minerals in that rock has also been reduced, making it super easy in the current system to crack any rock. El Guapo is a great example. He said in one of his posts that he was able to crack a 25K rock with a golem.
Mm-hmm.
A 25,000 map.
Now, I didn't even see a rock that big, but you guys know me. I'm a belter. I'm up in the Halo or the rings around Yella or Terminus. We didn't get access to Nyx in this tech preview, unfortunately, so you couldn't mine in Nyx. I couldn't mine a Glyceum ring. So the biggest rocks that I saw at the top, it was actually Aslarite, about 389 quality, and it was about 6,100 mass, so just over 6K. They were all massively reduced, but I'm going to try to let Sex One get through this before I keep interjecting too much.
Last rock with a golem, and he had like a bare minimum loadout. Like, it's frustrating.
Yeah, big rocks were rare. It's
frustrating. And with the ceiling being down to the floor, the buildings collapsed, the puzzle's gone. My gameplay loop has died. And eventually, as new players come into the game, they're going to come into the game and they're going to get the World of Warcraft experience where they
now he's not wrong about this, but we'll talk about it.
They mine the rock, they get the materials, and that's mining. Like, I'm very disappointed in the end game for mining, because it was fun. It was a gameplay.
Now I'm not
which
sure
I
if
enjoy
Saxawine
doing,
has Evo
and
access.
If it stays the way it is,
I might have some good news for him.
it's not going to be fun anymore, and it's going to be just like this. I'm Saxawine with SE Haulers. Check me out on Twitch, 9 p.m. Pacific time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And thanks for listening to my TED Talk. Love you. Bye. Hey, folks.
So I fucking love SE Haulers, guys. Saxawine's the shit, and he's a really, really kind-hearted guy. He is awesome. And I am not positive. That's not a bad pause face. That's not like an embarrassing picture. I am not... All right, let me restart my thought because I lost it. I got distracted there. He's a great guy. Give him a follow. Watch his streams. Hang out. It's really cool. We're going to chat all about what he's saying from this. Yeah, he streams late. I don't get to watch him too much because my bedtime's early, y'all. Like, we're trying to tone down by 1930, 2000 hours. That's 7:30, 8 p.m. for you non-24 hour folks. All right, RSI launcher, I need you to freaking run here so we got something to stare at. I mean, we got that beautiful ironclad, but it's kind of messing up the chat window for y'all in the background. Saxawine is not wrong about what he's saying if the lens is what we tested in Tech Preview is finished product. It's not. So if I miss any comments or questions as we're going through this, just shoot a repeat question out, man. I'm happy to chat with everybody about this. From the patch notes, and I'm going to kind of go based off memory because I am going to staunchly abide by all NDAs. You won't see me showing leaked images, even patch notes. I won't do that kind of stuff. What I wanted to do today, actually, it's gone, was live stream the tech preview, but you would basically just see like a still image of some random thing, like maybe an ironclad in the background, but you'd still see me here like this talking about it, and we would play it in real time. I really wanted to do that, so that way I could, mess with the tech preview behind the scenes and actually ask or answer questions in real time as I'm doing stuff, but they closed it out a little bit earlier than I was expecting there. So, yes, not only is it 1 ore plus inert is like typically 70+% of the rock, but directly in the patch notes, that's intentional, and it's not going to be how it is in the final product. Like, inert is going to be way lower. Patch notes didn't explicitly say that it was going to be 1 ore type only, but it might be because we're talking about the early implementations of crafting. So I'm going to go a little bit on my own bit of a rant TED Talk here, and then we'll get into some of the questions. But I can tell you from trying to approach this organically, like I tried not to ask people for questions or help or anything. I tried to go in to see if the game would kind of show me how to craft. Recently, with my buddy Ruck, we've gotten into a lot of great things like Bellwright and Windrose. I have also played The Last Caretaker I love. We're Valheim fans. We love ourselves a good crafter survival game. And those games have done a really good job, especially the Last Caretaker, Bellwright, and Windrose, Windrose, dude, if you get a chance to play that demo, you got to do it. It's a blast. They are really good at explaining how to get into things, and there's complexity, but it's something that you figure out pretty quick. Before you know it, you're crafting everything you need, and you're doing really well. That was not my experience in the tech preview, man. I mean, the Fabricator is basically a 2956 version of a Bellwright workbench, yes, but it is not intuitive. And I know it's a tech preview, so there is a lot of grain of salt here and a lot of benefit of the doubt because we are testing and giving feedback. This isn't finished product, so it's not really expected to be maybe super intuitive and easy to work with. But I tell you what, if crafting was unleashed right now, everybody would be looking out for a guide video. I'm going to make one anyway. I definitely will. I spent 10 hours to make a P8 AR. 10 hours. Between sourcing materials that I needed, which were a lot scarcer, going out into the Halo, going to mining bases, Pyro, Stanton, because again, we didn't have access to Nyx. All I was finding was frickin' aluminum, iron, titanium, and ice. And occasionally copper, and occasionally a really shitty deposit of azlerite. I didn't find Hephaestonite until I was wrapping up my session, and it happened to be around Hurl 2. Somebody else said they found Terranite, I think on Uturp or on Microtech. The resource pockets seem to be more targetedly spaced So like if you wanted this certain thing, you had to go to this certain place versus the Halo kind of just having everything, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's good to encourage people to try to go to different areas versus just kind of like a one-stop shop. Just go out to the Halo and everything you need's there. But again, 10 hours to build a P8. Yes, I could have just asked people. I could have just asked the Evo team, be like, yo, guys, how's the fab work? Let me know. What can I do? What can I not do? But the goal was to not do that. The goal was, can I figure this shit out? No, I couldn't. Like, it took finally talking to people to find out that the patch notes let us know that the fabricators you could buy at the refineries were broken. You don't even know how to search for the fabricators that are at the refineries anyway. It wasn't until I went back to my home location and typed in REDI into my freight elevator, because it's the ready-made fabricator unit, and I finally found the damn thing. I spent hours mining to try to get stuff and refining stuff, which you could pretty much break everything into Golem. And I'll get to the chat momentarily. I'm just trying to kind of get through my story here first. I got the fabricator finally on like hour like 6 or 7. And I tried to figure out how to interface to the damn thing. I couldn't put any of my refined materials in it to break down to like load the workbench, so to speak. So I was like, okay, that's not working. I put weapons inside it, but nothing would show up on the dismantle screen. It basically has on the left side, like the top is craft, and then it has dismantle, and then it has Q, and then you have this like blank screen in front of you, and then it has like local inventory, the actual fabricator's mixing unit as a place where you can put stuff in and take stuff out. So below the sort of ASOP terminal interaction, there's actually a button you can push to open and close it. Took half the day to figure out that button was there. It's not as obvious and in your face as you would hope, especially coming at it from like a new player experience. But eventually I found out that it has to be gridded to work. It can be gridded in your freight elevator or on a ship. If you're at a station and it's gridded to your ship in your hangar or on the freight elevator, it can pull from local inventory. So whatever refined shit you have, like at HRL 2, HRL 1, that's downstairs inside, it can use it. Okay, got it. Has to be gridded. Roger that. Makes sense. It's connected to whatever it is. If you're out and about, you got to have the materials with you, like in your ship. The proximity system will treat that as local inventory. It works the same way. So the other thing was with this current build, you couldn't break anything down that was skinned. So anybody who's got like a Bullseye S71, a Boneyard LH86, a Warhawk P8C, whatever, you can't break those down yet. So I didn't know that. So I went, to get the end of the story here, by about hour 9.5, I went to the local small arms store and I bought the only 3 items that were like, well, 2 items, one I just bought 2 of. The only items that were not skinned were a Karna rifle and a P4 AR. They had no skins on them. So I bought 2 Karnas and a P4. I put them inside the crafter, and they finally showed up like things do in your inventory. And then I was able to click on dismantle, watch them break apart. It's very much like other crafting games. You get the materials back. I was able to take the materials from those guns, which was basically just aluminum and hephaestonite. And actually from those 2 or 3 guns, I was able to craft my own P8 AR. And the reason I needed to break those down is because I was missing a component that they had. I think it was because some of them have like a minimum quality requirement, like 400 quality Aslerite, which I didn't have because all the Aslerite I found was like 20 quality. Frustrating. So I put in my like 500 plus quality aluminum and hephaestonite, and then like the Aslerite that the other guns provided, and it pumped out a P8 AR. But unfortunately, we didn't get to see the stats of it. It showed me like where there was going to be like the possible RNG of a buff plus or minus 0.0 whatever % increase to like recoil, whatever you can imagine for a weapon. But I finally did it, man. I finally did it. In almost 10 hours, I crafted my first fucking gun. And once I knew how it worked, where the blueprints were and how all that was, I was like, okay, cool. So I spent this morning kind of messing around a bit more, but then the tech preview was closed out. So not intuitive at all. Real pain in the dick. So I definitely will be putting out guide videos on this. So now let's get into some questions. So, and I've gotten off my own TED Talk here. I'm going to scroll. I'm going to see what's going up. What's up, JDM? Damn, bro, I wish I was around yesterday. Yeah, it was nuts. I would have made my suffering less bad had I just asked the question, but I wanted that, like, what will a new player experience? anger, frustration, big time. I put that in my survey feedback. How you doing, my guy? I'm doing good. Don't think he read patch notes. Oh, I read patch notes. I read all the patch notes. That's the one fucking thing that everybody in Evo will say when you have any question is first step, read patch notes. Yeah, we get that. Patch notes don't tell you everything. And it's more like they're saying memorize patch notes. I read through the patch notes. I read through both for crafting and inventory. Not that you're talking about me. I'm just kind of giving my opinion on this, Alex. So don't worry. But, man, like, a lot of the Evo community, a lot of them, they suck, bro. As far as, like, helping people out. They're dealing with their own shit, and they're just like, read the patch notes. And I'm like, bro, fuck you. Like, if I knew the answer, I would help. Be like, yeah, read the patch notes. But if you have questions still, I'm going to help out. But that's where I'm a little bit different. The quality requirement wasn't working for me. I could still craft stuff even with low quality materials. Well, not everything required, like the minimums. I know some of them did, but I didn't get to play with those as much. So you probably had more. The only armor set I managed to even craft was the Corbel, whatever it is. I told you, bro. Yeah, they're bad, dude. If you guys have like any sort of illusions that like global chat or Evocati folks are like a better example of Star Citizen players, nah, it's more like the kings of the Reddit mob, from what I've gathered, that just have more privilege than the rest of us. So I plan to be a beacon of hope in the chaos if I can. Evocati chat equals Baron's chat. Yeah, essentially. But yeah, let me actually kind of at least hop in game here, and I can maybe show you some examples of what I was talking about, sort of roughly, you know, not directly. But back to what StackSWine was saying, and again, guys, if I missed questions from earlier in the chat, please throw them out, because I'm looking at the chat now that I'm off my soapbox, so we can actually talk. And if you have questions about you know, anything I experienced in Evo, inventory related or not. So it was a very tight test. The only missions we had access to were the combat scenario missions, the ones that you go through, like scenario 1 through, I think, what it is, 8, till you get to the players to get blueprints. That's another thing. I never got any notifications of new blueprints. I got notifications of getting like the MG script for doing the combat scenarios, but I never saw a damn notification about the blueprints. They're just automatically in the fabricator. And I didn't know that. I thought that they would show up somewhere else, or like you would get some kind of clear, like, hey, this is your blueprint. You're good. Yo, Gideon, thanks for the sub. But no, it was basically just color-coded stuff, or if it was red, you didn't have the materials. If it was yellow, you had some of the materials. And if it was green, you could craft the item. Will the crafting machine pull from store all crates? It's a good question. We didn't get to test that, actually. Or I didn't get to test that. I don't think so. Unless maybe it's on the grid. It should. If it's connected to the grid, it definitely should. It should work. Yeah, I didn't have any of it just appeared. I just thought I had to relog like usual. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's up? Anybody else who's fellow Evo testers? Appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, the blueprint thing, like, so I did the combat scenario missions, which also I just happened to, I don't know if I was just unlucky, but I kept getting these freaking ships that were like indestructible. I had an F8 full ballistics, and I was dumping full ballistic fire to where I was almost out of ammo on like prospectors and arrows that wouldn't die. And the only way to kill them was to like use my missiles. So that was its own sort of frustrating. Like, so you can imagine all the kind of Chris Roberts shenanigans baked in with stuff making that 10-hour frustrating play session, you know, just more of that. And we were also supposed to be able to get better materials from Pyro. I didn't really notice that. In fact, it looked like all the same crap. We weren't able to actually use Ouratite, Ouratite. It's a new material. It's used to craft a lot of the armors and shit. But, and it was in the patch notes. See, I read them. I read the patch notes that it's not currently mineable. You could break it, you could fracture it, but when you would extract it, it just wouldn't enter your hopper. So, missed out a little bit on that stuff. All of these signatures were also different. So, you know, originally before like 4.5 or 4.6, you know, it was 1700, 1720, 1750, 1850, 1870, and 1900 to go from CSPMQ E-type asteroids. Yep, I just did all that from memory. Been doing this a while, can you tell? That was all gone. They were all asteroids, all single asteroids were 4,000. So who in the chat might be able to tell me why maybe a 4000 signature is not a great way to try to find asteroids. What's up, Thundering Falcon? Oh, is that starting to stick? The blue collar cap? Let's go. The blueprints that we had for this test were only weapons and some armor. We didn't have access to doing any ship weapons or anything. That's just how it was. So yeah, F8 with shredders and stallbucks is awesome. I had a full Mantis build. At this point, need to know the ladder challenge. What? You trying to mess me up, bro? All right, hang on. Let me see if I can get a ship here to get out of Pyro, because why am I in this mess? Oh, because we were having a lot of fun with the Org doing battle shenanigans out here. I don't even know where the hell I'm at. I think the only thing I can fly is the F8. So, hey, you know, we can chat while we're in Quantum. That works. Hang on, let me actually see what the F8's equipped with. And we'll get back to it. Multiples of 2K panels. Thundering Falcon? Yes. That was the first thing that came up. So 4K, 8K, 12K could be a bunch of debris, or 1, 2, and 3 asteroids, respectively. So that was annoying. I mean, again, grain of salt, because this is for testing. It's a test bed thing for crafting. So this is a sort of way of getting right back around to what I was going to say about SE Hauler's concerns, is that a lot of mining has been dumbed down, I think, necessarily, for the introduction of the first stages of crafting. Now, it does reduce a lot of the beautiful sort of complexity we've gotten. Apparently, I pulled like all my weapons off the F8. That's future me's problem. We'll figure that out. But I think that in order to get the first levels of crafting out, they don't really have much choice than to really oversimplify it and kind of nuke our gameplay loop a bit. So the single ore plus inert, the rocks all being drastically smaller in mass to where you pretty much can break them with anything. And the signatures kind of being sort of jacked up. You know, I think it's all going to be... do I have anything on me? Yeah, I got some stuff on me. Oh, apparently I still am rocking a ridiculous amount of med gel from that same thing. So I'm running around with some... some revenue here. That's not what I wanted to do. We already have our helmet off. What's happening here? Mining did, in fact, get heavily nuked for the sake of testing. I did include in my feedback that I really hope that we don't have that be the permanent state of things. Especially from a quality of life crafting sense, having more than a single type of ore in an asteroid is going to go a long way to us being able to craft stuff more readily, because, you know, maybe one rock does have FS-Tonight and aluminum in it, instead of you having to go and try to find a high quality amount of several different ones. But I bet the reason they're not doing that is because of the quality system. So, quality basically makes it a different item. It stacks in your buffer. So you could have 5 different titaniums. One is 580, which is pretty good in my opinion. One might be 300. One might be 400 something. They are separate in every avenue. When you pull them in your hopper, when you refine them, and when you use them to craft. So I can see why they're simplifying it, because if you have 2 or 3 items in an asteroid that are all of different qualities, they're dealing with a bigger puzzle themselves than they're probably ready to put out to everybody. So I think it's important, while I am moderately concerned about the future state of mining, I think it's worth the sacrifice to make it simpler now to get to a system that we can enjoy a more complex, thorough game loop in later. Because if they tried to do all that right now, it's just going to break. I think a lot of us, especially those who have been in the industrial gameplay loop since, you know, or over the last 10 years or so, we've become pros. We've got our spreadsheets. We've got our resources outside of SC. We know rack signatures. We know percentages. We know yields. We know how you break things, how you pair a gadget and a module and a ship together with a certain mining head. That is also a bit of, like, elitism. And I don't mean that as an insult, because I'm one of these people. We don't want to be overly elitist about our gameplay loop, so that way it can be opened up to growth and change. And take a little bit of that hit personally to be like, all right, they dumbed it down a little bit, but it ain't all about me who's a pro at this game loop. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to allow them to grow it beyond what it is, which might mean they're gonna intentionally need to dumb it down for a while to get the systems right, to fully flesh out this loop. I don't think mining's dead. I think mining is adjusting to crafting. So I hope that that makes sense. We knew rock signatures. Oh, we still know rock signatures. All I did was change the 1 to a 4. So it's a 4700, it's a C-type. If it's a 4750, it's a P-type. If it's a 4870, it's a Q-type. It's just the 1 is a 4. If the rock signatures are what they are from the tech preview, then yeah, you're right. Why is my game not... You guys seeing that? Is that just Star Citizen weirdness? Okay, it is Star Citizen. The base of my screen was like showing some weird little graphics bar there. Well, I just saw a message from Hawks just got deleted. Maybe he did that himself. That was weird. I just actually saw it, though. It says message deleted by a mod. What the hell? I can actually look at it, though. I don't see it as much as dumbing down as making it a bit easier to fight higher quality of certain minerals. So, we haven't been able to... Like, finding minerals was actually kind of an annoyance point for me in the tech preview. Higher quality stuff is super rare. Let me see if I actually can multitask here. Oh, you're probably just editing your comment. My bad. I don't see it as dumbing it down as much as giving you a better chance to find higher quality minerals. Possibly. Did you get any chance to mess with it? Because I'd love to know your opinions. You're probably busy this weekend, family stuff and all. Yeah, 95% of the time. So actually, to a criticism Rux had for years that I agree with, is that mining went from being fun to being flying around, sending out pings to get really picky to find the best, you know, the 40% Quantanium rock or something. This doesn't make that any better. This takes that and turns it into trying to find rocks that are like over 600 quality. Because you don't really notice much of a change to the equipment that you're building unless you're over that 700 quality point. I didn't find a damn thing in all of my tech preview testing that was anywhere near that. Well, okay, I found like one rock of, it was either iron or titanium that was like a 624. And I thought I won the lottery, dude. I was like, holy shit, 600. Then somebody's like, yeah, the percent changes to weapons and all don't really show themselves until you get to like 700 to 900. I went, well, shit. I didn't find anything like that. So it's gone from trying to find that really valuable rock to now spending all of your time pinging to like 10 different barrel, raw ice, and iron rocks to find something over 500. To me, that's my floor. I'm trying to keep anything that's 500 quality or above to make my stuff. What I will say that's a benefit to the crafting side or something that's good is that, you know, an SCU of like 584 titanium is going to make you a lot of shit. Because the guns were taking like 2 CSU of an item. So that's like 0.2 SCU, I believe, of an item. So it'll go a long way. When you do find it, it will carry itself into a lot of products, which is cool. But sourcing it is kind of a pain. Here, let's maybe set our course for stand. Oh yeah, and also the nav system was totally like broken. It's super frustrating. Oh man. But it was a very specific tech preview. It wasn't meant to be like a PTU release. It was like, hey, we're testing this thing. So there were like no other missions besides combat scenario and like some little mercenary stuff that was specific to testing crafting. Finding the quality rocks is going to be an interesting time, I see. Yeah, you're going to need to be patient. And if the signatures are all 4K, you're not going to have any inkling as to what something might be. I will say the hand mineable stuff, the brief periods of time that I was over planets, they're still at really high amounts, like 57,000 and such. Yeah, Thundering Falcon, thank you so much for that follow. There's a lot going on. Guapo found a 980 quality hand mineable and 980 quality mole mined mineral on the first crafting tech preview. That man should get a fucking lottery ticket, dude. That is nuts. That is wild. I wonder, on the first craft tech preview, so maybe they changed... so maybe they balanced it a bit different. 827 was my highest. Man, y'all kicked my ass. I did not get anywhere near that. Yeah. Yo, okay, Alex, same. Yeah, 500's like my baseline. If it's over 500, I'll bring it into my hopper and take it back to refine it, which is cool. As I said in the org, I have more fun just flying up to a rock and mining whatever it has than trying to search for something valuable. There you go. Yeah, Ball Planet, I don't think that the mining change is going to really negatively impact you or a lot of people. You know, in some ways, back to Saxa Wine, his point at the end of relating it to like an MMO that we know, like, you know, mining in WoW, or again, like Bellride or Windrose, or you pick your poison. It is a bit more like that, because when you go up to the rock, it actually says titanium ore, or iron, or raw ice, or silicon. I was actually really happy when I found some high. That's what it was. It was 6-something silicon, because I was only finding silicon that was like double digits. I actually found a rock of beryl that, I shit you not, was 8 quality. I almost thought it was a 0. I had to look really closely, because the only 0 is inert. But it was 8. I felt like I set a record on the lowest quality material. The high quality weapons, guys, I'm not kidding. Godly, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And that seems to come from, correct me if I'm wrong, from what you've seen in the past as well, that 700 plus stuff, because you're getting like recoil reductions or fire rate improvements to the degree of like 10+%, which that's a pretty big deal. It sounds small, but when you're considering like fire rate of a weapon, a 10% increase in fire rate is kind of nutty, dude. If you guys play like Crab Champions and you get like a supercharged on whatever gun you're using, it changes the game. You know what I mean? So it's honestly the most, like, the best thing that I felt was that one of the weapons that I either had to ask org mates for or hope I got lucky finding in a drop, I was able to craft. I was able to make my own P8 AR. You were able to craft a kill shot. You were able to craft a lot of stuff. And it felt good. I was able to make that gun. It was mine. Not to mention the 10 hours of gameplay that went into making that gun. I kind of felt a little bit more of an attachment to it. It's gone now. I lost it because it's not here anymore. But no, it felt good. It felt good to actually make that weapon. And even some of the armor I was starting to mess around with. The actual crafting experience is baller. I like it a lot. You can craft like 6 things at the same time. You can have 2 actively crafting simultaneously, so you could be making like a gun and a piece of armor, and they're counting down together. And then you have 4 slots in a queue that are waiting to go, and then you can deliver them to your local inventory if you're at a station, or right to the machine's mixing table that'll pop out and you can pick it up. It's sweet, dude. Could you choose colors when crafting? No, not yet. No skin-related stuff. I think that's one of the reasons that we couldn't break down like skinned weapons, that like boneyard and all that stuff. It's super basic. They'll definitely balance it out. Sell at 8 degrees market. What's up? Stat improvements are linear though, which in my opinion kind of sucks. We'll see how they change that. Yeah, it's definitely first iteration, because I was actually telling somebody in the game, or in the global, I was like, I don't expect it to be too wild out the gate, because if you got a quality boost to a weapon that gives you like a 30-40% buff on something, like, geez, man, the combat metrics of weapons and all is going to be so out of whack. They're not going to know how the hell to balance it. So you got to start small, you know? You got to do the smaller changes first and see how it affects the game's universe, and then make tweaks. So it's going to be very rough initially. Aluminum and tungsten going to be worth a boat ton. Yes, I didn't see a single thing at tungsten. Some of this stuff I don't think you're going to be able to find in the belts. What's up, Seymour? Good to see you. What you might need help. What you might need help to get when it goes live, though, is blueprints. Yeah, we'll see how they handle that. Whether or not certain blueprints will be locked behind like contested zones or certain missions. So we just got the blueprint digitally automatically sent to our fabricator, essentially, by completing combat scenario missions. So there will probably disperse that company or faction based, if I had to guess. I don't know yet. If this is coming in 4.7, they got a lot of work to do really soon, or you guys will just need to be ready to expect a very bare bones like T0 release or Tier 1 release, however you want to talk about it. You're not going to be changing the world with this first iteration of crafting. It's going to be kind of wet in your beak, getting you into it, allowing people like me to make guides to make it less frustrating, which I'm grateful for. We're probably not going to get ship's weapons. We weren't able to do any crafting of ship's weapons or anything, any components of that degree in this tech preview, because they're not behaving properly. So if we are getting crafting in 4.7, it's probably just going to be firearms and armor, which is still cool. You'll still be able to, craft your own guns to whatever degree. Hopefully we get ammo. We didn't get ammo. We weren't able to craft ammo. I look forward to being able to do that, as well as attachments like optics, barrel attachments and stuff. They said crafting would start with FPS stuff. Yeah, okay, there you go. I'm betting every profession will have a grind from rookie to master that will have blueprints that unlock. Yeah, exactly. And Hawks, I really hope so. That would be sick. Blueprints from missions, not a bad idea. Have it like the mil-spec components where it might be high-tier stuff in CZs. Yeah, I could see that. Very T0. Yep. Finally something worth grinding rep for. Yeah, I agree. You know, it gives us some incentive. It's like some reason to actually, you know, complete missions of the CFP or Adagio or, you know, pick whoever it was. I want to see how high quality ammo will do versus low misfires. Oh, that would be cool. I don't know if they're thinking as much as like misfire, hangfire type stuff. It'll probably just be, wait, do we actually have any ammo stats? Does ammo carry varying degrees of performance, like hollow point versus standard full metal jacket versus armor piercing? You know, or are they just kind of all just linear, like the same or whatever? 4/7, yeah, it's supposed to be March, so we're coming up to like, it's probably within the next 30 days. All right, let's see if we can get out of here. I'm not gonna actually make it through that wormhole. We got to refuel. I will tell you though that the Golem, man, that was my baby the whole time. I tried flying the Prospector for a little bit, and it was so sluggish, man. I was tearing around in the Golem like crazy, going everywhere. It also helped that you could pretty much break everything with a Golem. I had 2 Torrent 3s, so when it hit the green zone, it just zipped across and busted the rock. Like 2 Torrent 3s on a Golem might be my main going forward, not gonna lie. I'll rely on gadgets to get to the harder rocks because, damn, dude, that buff to how fast you charge through your rock was glorious. Really hoping for a full wipe. I don't think we're going to get that. We'll probably get some targeted wipe stuff, but they've already let us know that they apparently are not going to be doing any sort of, like, full wipes anymore, at least from what we gathered. Let's get this refuel done. I give away all of my money just so I could feel like there was a wipe. Yeah, I'm probably going to do the same. I think I mentioned that in one of my previous streams. I'm probably going to drop down to, like, 20,000 credits at some point just to have a little bit of something to grind for, some reason to get some stuff done. I might end up doing that with the start of 4/7 or sooner. Oh wait, I think I took off too soon. I was a little bit too eager there. I didn't actually refuel. Let's try that again. Having too much fun chatting. Yep, there we go. Now we just need a way to get rid of unwanted ships. Yeah, that would be nice. I'm hoping at some point, definitely not with this first iteration, that we'll be able to dismantle ships. Because we can dismantle our armor and weapons and stuff to get materials. Like, imagine if you could... Well, I guess... I mean, you can temporarily dismantle your ship, but I mean, like... What? To the equivalent of selling it. Because, yeah, we can salvage your ships. That's different. That's not what I mean. I'm hoping we can actually, like, break them down permanently for resources. That'd be sick. It's gonna be one of those days where my facial hair tickles the shit out of my face. So, apologies in advance. Alright. There we go. Oh, I also made some changes to my keybinds I need to throw in. Well, I'll do that once I'm quantum traveling on the other side of the gate. Let's tick up our speed. There we go. I had over 1 billion too at the first point. It was so dumb. Yeah, the highest I had was like 14.5 billion because somebody came into a stream and just like donated all that money for me to give away. That was a lot of work, dude. How does one even acquire such money? Yeah, Genolite exploits, basically. Not legitimately. Go ahead and slow down a bit faster here. Just let me craft a ship part by part and then sell it to a player. Right, Moss? That'd be sick. Is it Moss or is it Moose? Dismantle ships would finally give a reason for the SRV. Yeah, man. I would love that too. And I mean, personally, Galactic, yeah, I enjoy a grind that has a purpose, you know? I mean, that's kind of what appeals to a lot of people who enjoy simulator games and crafting style gameplay. I mean, you're out there chopping wood and getting stone to craft better and better stuff. It's definitely a sort of gameplay that a lot of people enjoy. Like a moose. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Eventually, insurance will provide a way to get rid of in-game bot ships. Eventually. It'd be nice if there was just a basic sell function, which, yeah, a lot of us could say from the outset, like, that doesn't sound hard, you know? Just kind of like selling our other shit in game. We don't even need to get anywhere near full credit for the ship. Give us like 25% of it. And, allow us to get rid of the buttload of ships we bought when we were randomly given 1 billion credits. All right, let's see if we can get... Oh, something that was kind of cool. I don't know, Karza, Alex, guys, if you remembered any of this, going through the wormhole was a little bit different. I don't know if it was intentional or what, but it felt like it was faster, and it sort of did this more like shaking zoom, like it felt like you were really hoofing it going through the wormholes in the tech preview. I don't know if they're kind of like working on editing those effects, but it was kind of cool. It felt a bit more intense, and I was here for it. I know some who would pay to have them removed. Yeah, I don't doubt it. How's it going, Sixes? Good to see you. Give Wicklow the ability to buy ships. Maybe then he won't be as hated, right? Yeah, hey, there's a good option. He takes the ships, and maybe there's like a back-end market. He takes the ships, and he like breaks them apart or sells them to Gray, and then Gray does his thing with the ships. That'd be pretty sick. This ship was owned by a little lady in Pyro. I made a shit ton during Miner Die, and then the rest using my whole seed before they nerfed it. Yeah. That's what actually got me my whole seed was the supplier die stuff, because you were making like 24 mil for a mission. That was crazy. All right, let's get back over to our sort of home base. During the tech preview, I was actually working at a Referral 2 a lot because we were told that you had to go to Hurston to get the blueprints, but that ended up not actually being true. You could do the combat scenarios pretty much anywhere to get it. Do I have enough? Awesome, I do. Wicked. I was hoping I wouldn't have to refuel again. And the nav didn't work. Yay, that's right on brand. All right, yeah, there it is. Okay, kind of know where Referral 1 is by now. It's the main place I go to. It's just a matter of dancing with the damn jump point. A lot of people were having luck during the tech preview going to asteroid mining bases that are kind of scattered all around Pyro and Stanton. Our huge amount of cash came from Miner Die. Yep, should have just sent the money anyway. Anybody got any specific questions again that I might have missed about crafting or inventory? They didn't really have a whole lot for us to test on the inventory side. I wasn't able to really test like ground surface elevators to see if I could just use the proximity system like I wanted to, because after trying to do the hand mining missions, that was a nightmare. Why Cruel 1 central location? I just have always migrated closer to Crusader. Cruel 1 also always had just such a good supply of mining materials, gadgets, and all that I used. And I liked being around that location of the Halo, the Cruel 1 to Arkel 3 location that I had mapped out. Not to mention possibly mining around the Rings of Yella and some really good bounty grind. That's a big part of it for me. I hate doing bounty grind around Microtech, Hurston, and ArcCorp Corp because you can actually get bounties around the main planet. And that sucks. Crusader is like peak bounty grind territory. So Cruel 1 was kind of my hub for doing all the game loops that I enjoyed all together. Because the bounty game over around Crusader, you never get bounties around the Crusader planet itself. It's always around Yella, Daymar, or Selen. So you have low atmo. A lot of the times you have them actually popping up around like the mining bases or around the Rings of Yella. It's just more fun, in my opinion, instead of getting a bounty that's like deep in the atmosphere of Hurston or Microtech or something, and that's just a slog, dude. That sucks. Hey, JDM, how do you do those missions that need certain materials, but I don't know how to find them or know where to start looking? Do you mean the newer mining or salvage missions that came out? Is that what you're talking about? I'm curious. I want to narrow down the missions you're talking about. Dude, I home so much at Cruel 1. Hell yeah, Hawks. Yeah, Cruel 1 is the place, man. If I'm not at home in Levski, I'm typically at Cruel 1. And if I'm in Pyro, Starlight Station. That's my jam. It's right next to, it's basically the Cruel 1 to Obituary. And it's really good for bounty and salvage gameplay where the missions are kind of local. Okay, yeah. So, on the salvage side, after you finish your first mission where they give you a ship, it's pretty much just up to you to source the stuff. So as you're coming into an area, like for example, we're coming into Cruel 1 here, if it would let me go to my Mobiglass. Let's see, under salvage, it should have a few options to just kind of turn stuff in, like RMC, which is pretty easy. That one's going actually into Referral 2. Or doing quantum drives or power. Oh, that's a good one, actually. It's not size 0 bullshit. Like, this is actual stuff. See, these are the ones you want to find. 65K, that's pretty good. So with these, it's up to you to go out and source it. So You basically get these components however you like. If you do them the real salvager way, you're going and looking for like abandoned player ships at popular sites where they are, like around gateways or on pads. If they're game rules, you can actually take them off the pad without any crime stat and stuff, especially if they left their ramps open, so you can just go in and take their ship and go. Or Hathor sites or anywhere where somebody might leave ships around. Like, just start taking note of where you see people leaving stuff for good places to go and salvage that stuff. You can also take the missions that they give you for a fee. Some of them typically have components. As an example, if you look at the ones that you actually source, let's see, any of these would be usually like a whole A. So yeah, of course, none of these ones that we're seeing here. Starfighter Inferno. Actually, I think this one does. I think you can get the components off of the Inferno. Some size 2 stuff, so you can actually get the RMC and all. So you can kind of mix doing the fees with the component turn-in stuff, except for the size 0 stuff. That's really annoying to me. On the mining side, it's really just about following the mission to whatever spot, then to whatever cave they want, and then you can source the hand minables however you like to turn them in. Bit grindy, bit grindy. These missions, guys, by the way, are not really there to make money. They're there to give people an avenue to learn the trade. Which is something that I really hope they do with crafting. Some type of a mission to sort of guide you through how to use your damn fabricator. That way you're not sitting there wondering why the hell nothing is working properly. Look at the unverified salvage missions too. They are godly. Yes, yeah, unverified salvage. I need to mess more with the unverified stuff. It's something that I haven't had a whole lot of time with, but a lot of these ships too, to Hawk's point, they'll have loot on board and everything as well, so you might even be able to sell some of that stuff to make some money, especially if you land some ships that have like buttloads of gold, because sure, gold on its own is like, you know, a little over 6k per SCU, but if you got 150 SCU of gold on a freaking C2, that's a lot of money. So it can be a good time, a good way to make some cash. And I think that's actually a little bit what you're talking about, because I see the golds. Do ships need to have a gold pass to remove components? Yeah. Or gold, that's what you're talking about. Yes. Yeah. That's why I was looking for the whole A, but I believe that the Ares series ships, the Ion and the Inferno, they are gold pass. I thought they were actually too old to be, but I was wrong. I saw Evenly's actually salvaging those. So we can actually run through some of those missions as we're chatting and show you guys what that's like. Now that we're over here in Cruel 1, let me just set my med spawn. Are you joining the dark side, Cap? Wait, what do you mean? I always am privy to the dark side. I like myself some Sith love, some dark side love, maybe some Decepticon love, if that's what you're getting at. Let me know. I was doing hauling last night, and an Idris blew me up. Oh, jeez. I need to start on voiceover soon. Yeah, I know you've been needing to get that done. Hey, man, I mean, no hard feelings here, brother. Go get that work done, man. It is all good. We got like 5 times 32 containers of distilled spirits in an M2. Distilled spirits, what does that go for? Like 500 AUEC? It's kind of low, right? Or is it around like the 1 to 2K? 'Cause that's not bad. Gold standard ships would have physical components, but I think there are also non-gold standard ships with components. Yeah, it's just you can't get to them, which is kind of the whole point of being able to turn those missions in, of course. Are the mining missions only going to be hand mining, or will it include? It includes ship. Yeah, it includes ships. I'll show you. After you do your first hand mining tutorial mission or whatever, kind of getting into it, you'll notice there's also ship mining. So extra small order of refined goods to this degree. So this is good practice, guys. In fact, anybody who wants to kind of get an early hang on crafting, start getting used to doing this kind of stuff. Going out and finding aluminum, titanium, iron, copper. All of these were actually very common in the Halo. These are all things that I was finding a lot of for the tech preview. But yeah, it's not a bad idea to start getting used to sort of building revolving work orders in the background of this stuff. It'll go a long way on the crafting side, but it also starts to give you like bulk amounts of goods that you can start turning those missions in. Because like, yeah, the first time you want to do it, sure, you got to go out and source it, wait for it to refine. But if you've got stuff kind of constantly going in the back end, orders refining, you're going to have so much ready to turn those missions in that you can start loading up your cargo ships and go send those out to complete them. It's going to be a good time. Let me see. What do we have here as far as most of our ships should actually be chilling here. We got our Vulture. Why don't we go take the Vulture out? I need to make sure my Vulture isn't cannibalized. I have a bad habit of doing that when I need stuff. Thanks, Hawks, man. You have a good rest of your day. I can't wait to see that content, buddy. YouTube censored the slur for a bot. Wait. Can you not say clanker? Is that a thing now? Did I just break a rule? Am I gonna get shadow banned? Is that what you meant? Like a robot? Oh hey. Yeah, let's throw some like overpowered snow blinds on here. Oh, we got one actually. So we'll do a snow blind and a heat safe. That's funny. Wow, we're already kind of getting into like robot rights, I guess, or robot protected speech. That's fucking hilarious, dude. Oh shit, Jared did. Let's see what happens. Is YouTube gonna censor it? Maybe there's context. Very, very disappointed on the mining changes. They neutered it, removing the large part of the skill required in mining, what loadouts to use, what gadgets to use, etc. Way too easy now. So, Stick Boy, I kind of covered this. This is just for the testing and the early implementations of crafting. This isn't like where they're going with mining long term. They simplified stuff for the tech preview. We have no idea what it's going to look like when 4.7 officially drops. We only know what Evo testers have talked about. And a lot of the changes are going to be required to initiate crafting, and then you can bring back that complexity later. Went over a good bit of this at the early part of the stream if you ever wanted to go back and check that out. But rest assured, guys, I wouldn't be too worried. We might have a reduced complexity to a degree, but you're still going to be dealing with instability, with resistance, with different materials that are harder or not as hard. There's going to be a lot of changes made before they go into the Evo PTU release, which you guys know I'll bring you that information right away. I'll live stream it. I won't be able to show it. You'll be looking at like an image of something, and I'll just be talking about what's happening. But you're going to have all that info, man. Don't you worry. Let's see. I'll throw in a Fortitude as well. It's fine. What? I don't have any more. Okay, we got to go buy some Colossus quantum drives. Since we're here at Cruel 1, you can get them from right here. Let's go do that. Let's go get some stuff for our Vulture. I should also have... Yeah, there we go. I don't really care about having any cinches. Throw a trawler there. What should we put? I guess we'll put a cinch on that one. It's whatever. Damn, it's kind of sticking here. They just know. Maybe it's Koba's region. I wonder if it's like a regional YouTube thing. I wonder if that affects how some people get censored and all. Don't forget jump drive. Yeah, wait. Hold up. Yeah. Once we... Oh, you're right. I'm going to probably have to buy an extra one since it's gone. I do have buzzsaws on my Vulture. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Dragon Nuts. You might have just saved me some trouble. Yeah, let's go get that stuff real quick. Oh. Not that I really need the jump drive, but it's going to be that time that I do need it, that I've forgotten that I didn't put it on, and then everybody gets to have a good laugh. Nope, not small hangar. Lobby. They have feelings, man. Yeah, I'm always nice to AI and robot type stuff. They'll know I'm a friend. I won't be taken down. Can someone explain this jump drive thing? So yeah, so the jump drive, well, its base function is to get you through the wormholes, but it's attached to your quantum drive. So if you replace your quantum drive without taking your jump drive off, it pulls the quantum drive and the jump drive off together. So when you put the new quantum drive on, you have to add another jump drive, unless you remove the jump drive and then the quantum drive in a specific order, which I'll show you when we do it. So it's basically like, you can almost think about it like an engine with a supercharger, and the jump drive is the supercharger on top of the engine to get it to be able to do more. But if you pull out the engine without taking off the supercharger first, you take out everything, and then your ship doesn't have it when you put it back together. All right. Here we go. Platinum Bay. That's what we need. So over here at Wonderful Cruel 1, you can get yourself a Colossus and a Chimera, which is actually really cool. You can get the size 1 and size 2, I think. As well as, well, no, chainmail's kind of blah. Some braid scrapers isn't bad, though. Let's get a few of these. Bolon, Bulwark. Oh yeah, this is also another place you can get your Cambio SRTs. We'll get a couple of these, just in case we need them. Colossus. I want to get like 4 of these. Fuses, we don't really need. Hemera. I'm going to get like 4 of these too. Size 2. Such a good quantum drive. Is that about it? Get a couple of tractor beams. That works. Store all crates, thermocores, zap jets. Yeah, I think we're good. That's why my Hermes was stuck at New Babbage. Probably. Chris Roberts stole my jump drive yesterday in my Hermes without me swapping quantum drives. Oh, no. Sometimes weird shit will happen. Hey, Cap, can you explain your parking brake again? I think I have it set up similarly, but wish I could set a button to toggle velocity limiter 0 instead of turning the limiter on and off. So, yes. Let me get back to the ship, and I'll show you what might be your game changer, because I basically have done that. I have it default always on, and then I can actually... I use a tab on my stick to increase, decrease it, but you can also use left alt and scroll wheel to do the same thing. But I'll be able to explain it better actually showing you with the ship. One of the first things I do when I log in after a patch is to buy 6 of each jump drives at the home location. Yeah, I'll actually do that at each of the like the gateways I go through sometimes. I'll have like a stock of jump drives sitting at the gateway, just knowing that I'm going to mess up and end up forgetting. It's not a bad idea. Bro, what? That's why I can't go to Nick's in my Hermes. Yeah, probably. I'll show you guys the way that I swap out quantum drives. If you do it the way I do, 9 times out of 10 you should be okay. Other than that, like one time that Chris Roberts just randomly decides to steal your jump drive. It's almost like the medical guys here knew something was up. They're like, if you got a case of the sniffles, try this. I'm like, how did you know that I keep messing with my nose? Okay. Nope, what am I doing? Let's get my head on straight here. Let's go ahead and... Oh, damn. Fuck, I didn't actually buy a jump drive. We gotta go back. I could cannibalize from another ship, but why create more problems for myself? I thought it just glitched out. Yeah, I did too early on. I kept wondering why the hell it kept saying calibration failed or why I can't jump. It's really frustrating. So, contrary to the other components, like, you know, shields and quantum drives and all that stuff is usually under systems. But your jump drives are in a separate category called propulsion. So if you didn't know, might as well grab a few in every size. Yep. That's the plan. So when you're looking here, when you want to break into your category, systems usually has all of your main stuff. Shields, coolers, quantum drives, power plant. That's not good. Or that's not what you need. So you got to go over... Hold on. Where's propulsion? Does Krill 1's Platinum Bay not have... I'm kind of confused. Krill 1's Platinum Bay doesn't have a propulsion section. I kind of thought they were just at all Platinum Bays. So it would be here. Huh. I know it's at all gateways, but maybe it's not at all Platinum Bays. Jeez, I'm sorry, guys. Give me a sec to try to figure out what's up with my nose. I'll be right back. All right. Man, oh man. All right, sorry about that. Okay. Remember only finding them at gateways. Yeah, I guess I learned something new. I just assumed it would be here. All right, hopefully a little bit more manageable. Some allergy medicine, some Flonase. Man, frustrating. So we are going to unfortunately have to cannibalize one ship to get a jump drive, which we don't really need the jump drive since we're staying local. I'm not planning to take the Vulture out of Stanton, but I guess just in case. They are sold at other places like Crow's, yeah. And also, probably the main stations, too, like Seraphim, Port Tressler, Everest by Genie, that kind of stuff. I bet even Grimhex probably has them. But not all of the L stations, which is okay, no problem. Could just be a good excuse for refueling stop at a jump point, right? Yeah. Let's see. Get back to the Vulture. So we'll go out and poke at some of the ships that you can get from Adagio to see if we can actually source components from them too. I'm also going to go ahead and grab that mission for this one. The 4 quantum drives and the 4 power plants. It's not a bad idea. Alright, where, oh where? I can take the jump drive off of this Hornet to put it on the Vulture. So, when you're doing this, when you're changing out your quantum drive, it's a really simple method. I'm going to first put one on just so I can talk about it. So, because you notice when you take it off, propulsion disappears. When you put it on, propulsion comes back. That's something to notice. So we'll go over here to propulsion and throw on that Explorer. So now, this is what it looks like when you look at your ship normally, right? So to avoid the jump drive issue, before you take off your quantum drive, go to propulsion and take it off. And then go to your quantum drive to swap it to whatever you need, and then go back to propulsion, and then, oh, that one actually has one on it. That's funny. Hang on, I can actually take the jump drive off of this one too. Now we have 2. So that was a bad example, because that one was a complete set. That was a quantum drive that was pulled off with its propulsion drive, so it actually gave me an extra one, which is hilarious. So yeah, you would go to your quantum drive and then add it back on here. That's too funny. What's up, Rabbit? I wish you could physically separate the jump module from the QT drive when scavenging. Yeah, I agree. I feel like there should be a way to break those apart, kind of like a weapon from a gimbal. That would be pretty cool. I don't find them at Everest. It's where most of my stuff is, and even if I remove the jump drive before the quantum drive, it just seems to eat the jump drive. It shouldn't. Not if you do it this way. This should work like 9 times out of 10. There are certain little one-off things, of course, that'll happen every now and then. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But if you use this method, it should work. I have still ran into the issue because I think in my mind from doing this so much that I did this very thing, but I might have missed the step, but I'm so used to doing it that I just assumed I did, and then I don't have a jump drive, and then I get a good laugh when I go, shit, I gotta go buy one. I like that at least CIG knew us well enough to say that, like, yeah, a lot of people are going to mess this up, so why don't we make sure we've got jump drives at all of the gateways, just in case. I think that was a pretty smart deal on their point. Alright, and instead of that other cinch we got, we're going to go ahead and throw another braid on there. Okay, I think we're good, though. We got everything that I care to have. Sort of a stealth-ish build to the Vulture, so let's get out of here. What's up, SC Hollers? Thanks, man. I liked your hat. Had a fun time. I don't know if you saw it. We reacted to your mining video at the start of the stream. It was a good time, man. I actually wanted to ask, were you on the Evo build? You don't have to say if you don't want to. If you want to keep that secret, you can plead the fifth. But I was just curious. Let's go. Vulture, baby. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you saw it firsthand. Hell yeah. Yeah, I had a feeling you did. I just wasn't sure. All right. Let's get our Carnival livery that I've mistakenly thought was another Star Kitten because it's pink. Yeah, I made an assumption. It's not. It's like Festival or Carnival. I love this. Oh, man. I'm curious. I know your opinion on the mining stuff, which I do largely agree with. just knowing that they have to dumb it down for crafting to come out. But what are your thoughts and experience on the actual fabricator? Because, man, I had a nightmare of a time until I finally figured out how to work the damn thing, and then it was okay, but figuring out how to use the stupid thing was going to send me into a damn rage. A nice quality of life would be it creates warnings on your ship components page to tell you that it was removed when you remove the quantum drive. Oh, yeah, kind of like a little like, hey, by the way, you don't have a jump drive anymore, bro. You're not going to be able to do quantum travel. I should probably store the med gel I have. Yeah, we're going to do that real quick because I'm carrying like a few million worth of med gel on me right now. Actually, I think I'm only carrying about 1 million or so worth of med gel on me. I bought a lot of it for the org event we did Friday. I didn't have any issues with it, actually. I went and mined, refined the materials, put it in my hangar, her L1, crafted and pulled from the inventory. Yeah, see, like, I had never played any of the previous crafting tech previews or anything, so I went into it totally blind, trying to see if I could figure out how to do it organically. And after about a 10-hour game session, I finally had to start asking people how the hell to use the damn thing, because it was not intuitive from, like, somebody who has never touched it. It was your first time as well. Damn it. I can't use that excuse anymore. You're just smarter than me. Dude, I couldn't, like, without asking anybody, like, not asking anybody anything, I just started pressing buttons. See, I pressed the wrong buttons because it took me forever to figure out that there was a damn button to open the thing. And then it just so happened that the weapons I was putting in to try to dismantle happened to be skinned items that you couldn't dismantle. So, and the other thing that was annoying is, like, I put titanium in there because apparently you're supposed to be able to do that to, like, load titanium into it, but it never showed up an interface to interact with the titanium. So, I don't know. I need a little bit more work, but once I got it working, it was pretty sweet. Like, once I saw how the thing actually worked, it all started to click and make sense. But, oh yeah, I made a couple of changes to my keybinds that I want to actually implement here. I know on the mining side, I switched this over here. I don't know if I need to do that for salvage. I don't think so. I'll leave that alone. Shit, what else did I changed? Oh yeah, I put lamp on my keybinds. Lamp toggle here. Yep, that's right. And then I moved my decoupled toggle. So my decoupled toggle is now right on that hat instead. There we go. So, I just forgot. Thank you, Dragon Nuts, by the way, for the follow. I just forgot who asked about the speed limiter breakdown, but this part's for you. So what I did on my flight stick is I put absolute speed limiter on my central tab that moves and stays where I put it. But I had to do an additional step where I went over to controls, selected that stick, and had to actually change my inversion settings because it was annoying. Where the hell is flight? There it is. Flight movement. And then which one was it? Oh, technically I didn't have to do acceleration limiter. It was just absolute velocity limiter. I had to make that one inverted to properly show the thing doing what I needed it to. Where is my velocity stuff? Oh, it's over here on the left. So now that when I move it, it goes exactly where I need it to. I never have to turn it on and off, so I can just tab all the way down to 0 to stop or push it all the way up to go. That is all that I do now on my speed limiter. You can also do this with left control and your scroll wheel if you're doing this keyboard and mouse and move it around. And if you have a frictionless scroll wheel, it's kind of nice because it'll just sort of keep moving, which is really cool. I just noticed that. But yeah, I've got it on my tab, so it'll just fixate to wherever I have this tab positioned. That's what I've been doing. After playing the latest Evo, how confident are you crafting will be in 4.7? Pretty confident. Very bare bones. It's going to be very bare bones. Probably just weapons and armor. I don't think it'll be ship stuff. But pretty confident. Pretty confident. Inventory felt good. Honestly, inventory worked well enough that I didn't even really pay attention to it or notice it when I was actually doing any of the crafting stuff. That's because the actual cargo grid for the fabricator was bugged. I read that somewhere in the Evo chat. Yeah, I know that all the refinery ones that you bought were bugged out. But the one you got at your home base wasn't. I didn't even realize I had one at my home base. So I went out for like hours mining, trying to find stuff, which I had a lot of issues or a lot of annoyance with how mining is structured, but I take the grain of salt of realizing that this is necessary for the first implementations of crafting. Otherwise, if they try to make crafting work with the level of complexity we have in mining, it's likely just going to break everything beyond repair. It's probably going to break anyway when it comes out, but that kind of is just how Star Citizen is. I think we'll get that complexity back, though. I don't think it's going to be a permanent dumbing down. I think it's just going to be like, hey, we got to do this because having, like, different qualities of multiple rocks in the same asteroid for crafting at the start of things is probably too much for the system. At least if they don't want to wait any longer and they want to actually just get it out now. But it should come back. I put that in my feedback. I put all kinds of feedback. I'm not accepting any party invites right now, guys. So hopefully, you know, no offense or anything. Just kind of cruising on my own bit. But feel free to chat it up with me in the chat, though. But yeah, I sent in tons of feedback on what I'm hoping they do. I hope we keep individual signatures because we in the mining community love having I hated seeing just 4K for every rock. I want to see C-type, P-type, M-type, E-type. Like, I'm with you, and being a veteran miner that we have our like our workflow, we have our world, we have everything that we've built around it. So it does hurt to see that kind of get dumbed down. But, you know, it's kind of like I said earlier when I was kind of going over your video, that I feel like it's a necessary evil to get things going, to finish that loop, and then they can start to flesh out that loop with all the beautiful complexity we've come to love with a really fleshed out game loop. I hope it doesn't take forever to get there. I guess we'll see. But yeah, it is what it is in the interim. That's fair assessment. I think a good majority of comments agree with that. Yeah, and I hope we're right. I hope that they don't take a lazy route with it. I really hope it's to implement a new system in a way that's going to be as playable as possible and as easy for new players to understand as possible, because I think a lot of us do kind of suffer from a bit of that expert mindset of having done this for so long that we've got our science down, and new players come into mining and they just go, oh my god, I don't even know what to do with my hands. This is so much. But that's also, you know, folks like SE Haulers and myself and others are happy to put out all the guides and how-tos and helps, and that's a good source of, you know, our reach to the community, which I love doing. I will definitely be doing guides on how to craft and manufacture and source materials, and like my personal thresholds basically being anything over 500 quality, because man, it was rare to find anything over 500 personally, and I don't want to just spend every waking hour of my time mining, scanning rocks and moving on. I want to break shit and make stuff. I just totally came out here like fully on like mental autopilot. I just took a second to be like, why the hell did I come to ArcL3? No, JD, I don't have any active parties right now. I'm actually just I'm soloing it today. I'll do party streams on Fridays, just keeping it kind of chill, mostly chatting about Evo stuff and demonstrating mission stuff. What I wanted to do is actually go to an Adagio salvage claim, because I think we had... Oh, Terrapins have components. There we go. Let's accept that. I got distracted having a chats with you wonderful people. I don't think Valkyrie does. Scorpia should have components too. Let's see. What else did we find out here? Vanguard, Mercury, Titan, Mole, and the Inferno. All right. So we got 3 options. ArcL3, ArcL3. Oh, cool. 2 of them are right here. Let's go, dude. That's fucking great. It's like I knew. I don't like the idea of one single mineral in each rock. I like searching and surprise of finding a combo you want. Agreed, Solus. Yeah, totally agree with that. I just think that they've got to sort of work out the kinks with their quality system before they're able to do that in a way that works properly. Because again, each of the items, like, different quality basically makes it a different item as far as how it's registered. Now, you can have, like, an infinite amount of items that pop up, but you're, oh, it just disappeared. Is it going to show me a ship, though? Okay, yeah, there's some stuff right here. Nope, that's a Reclaimer and a C2 that I don't think belong to me or anybody out here. Sorry, anyway, you can have a bunch of variations on the quality of the item, but if you have like 4 different qualities, like, you know, 480, 320, 150, 780, those are all different titaniums. So having a rock with multiple ore types and multiple quality types is probably a back-end thing they have to figure out before they make that happen. That's my guess. Okay, I may have missed it, but how do you have so many salvage options? I get a few, but not that many. Maybe your rep. So on my rep, I think is maybe junior. No, I'm still neutral. I'm not even in applicant. So to get these to open up the way mine did, I think you just need to go out there and tag a few of these, because then like these all come without really any rep, because these were all here before the rep tree was added. So I bet if you go out and you knock out some of these, in the past you could even blow them up or just like self-destruct them and you would get a completion credit for it. It should unlock the others. But these are the new ones, that like the 27K, the 30Ks. These are the ones that came out with the Moth recently. So in your reputation for Adagio, you'll see an ally under Adagio holding. Yeah. So the ally rep. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm surprised I actually still have as many as I do, even though I'm just in the neutral standing. I haven't even gotten leveled up there. All right. So another issue with these missions is I'm noticing that they still don't have a tendency to always spawn. Because we should have a freaking Inferno out here somewhere. But I've got nothing. It's a no-show. We got some random crap over by the actual station, which... Dude, we got a Reclaimer and a C2 over here. Let me track the other salvage mission. Tip, don't go on board the ship after stripping the hull and shoot the power plant. Does not end well. Ask me how I know. Oh, shit. What did you do? Yeah, I think this is a bugged contract. Let's see if the other one that was supposed to be out here shows up. I've unfortunately had a lot of issues with bugged salvage claim contracts. All right, this one has two different indicators, so I think this one's working because there's the area indicator and the actual ship indicator. Yeah, there we go. Now we got a ship. Now we can actually do something. Can't wait for Salvage to start feeling like a hard space shipbreaker. That'd be pretty sick. I'm going to go ahead and abandon the Inferno one, because that one's just a no-show. So we just gave them 2,000 credits for nothing, bro. Kidding me right now? Alright. So even though we've had issues getting into fighters, since this is our salvage claim, we should have no problem hopping inside this thing and like opening up all of its ports to get its components and all out. At least that's the hope. And these should be some size 1s. It's a heavy fighter, so it might have a couple of size 2 stuff. Here, we'll park this side so my port side can be next to it. And this is where parking brake comes in really handy. Just hold that down. I'm going to go ahead and put my shields up just in case. Make sure I put our helmets on because we are not rocking one. That's all fine. Yo, what's up, Sully? Soggy Quiche, good to see you too. I haven't seen these big contracts either, but I only have a salvation currently. Maybe they offer different ones depending on the salvage ship size. No, I don't think they have a way of knowing what ship size you have, actually. So, before we got our rep, I got higher and higher contracts by just going to the small ones and completing one. Like, I just completed, like, the 2,000. I completed one of the 2,000s and got a 5,000. Then I completed one of the 5,000s and got a 10,000. Like, it was, like, immediate. We didn't have rep at the time, but doing one of them unlocked the others. So give that a shot. Let me know what you guys run into if that's the case. I don't know if FC Hollers is still hanging around, if he had a similar experience before we got the ally rep. I think that's why I have so many of the fee ones out here, because in Pyro, you actually got them based on your rep, rather than just kind of tagging them. But Pyro is kind of weird currently. They sort of messed up the CFP and Headhunters rep trees when they added Dead Saints. I'll do some more salvage today to see what's available. Yeah, no problem. I'm really curious to see if you just complete the small ones, which in the past, easy mode, completing it, I could just blow it up and get credit for it. The fee ones work on that ally tag, as I mentioned. The new missions work on the actual reputation. Oh, so the ally tag is kind of like the built-in back-end stuff that we had before the missions came out, right? Like when we didn't have a tree. All right. Yeah, see, I didn't know that. So that's awesome. Okay, cool. Another thing, guys, when you're trying to fracture ships, you might already know, you might not. Even if it's off from the outside, usually this is like if it's a player ship, not usually your salvage claims, it'll say power on. You actually have to get in to properly shut it down. I'm just going to kill shields, unlock ports, open all doors, and then fully power down. The more fee missions you do, the more you unlock. Bam, there it is. Confirmation from our guy. Let's go. So if you want more of those fee missions to open up your options, just go complete some of the fee missions and it should open up pretty rapidly. It doesn't take a whole lot. It's one of the easier grinds. All right, so we should have access to this thing's components. I don't know if the original Scorpius is... Oh, yep, it sure is. Here are the parts. That's what we want. Ow. Just run right into it. There we go. No, ah, shit. See, I should have used a handheld multi-tool. I might go pick one up, because the regular, smaller handheld one, you don't have to worry about grabbing the whole damn ship, and that is kind of a frustrating part when you're trying to just get components off like this. Because of that fucking reason right there. Okay, this is stupid. I might run down to that station real quick and see if I can grab myself a multi-tool. Yeah, I unlocked the ports. I know. Are they unlocked by default? You're right, I can craft one. That's right, I forgot I'm in a vulture. I'm not used to using the vulture again. If it's unlocked by default, then maybe I just locked them. Because I definitely right-alt-K'd it. Let me stop this thing real quick. Alright, let's go take a peek. Ah! Yeah, that's what it is. I locked them. I haven't done these fee ones in forever. Thank you, man. Alright, yeah, let's go unlock them again. I've got a multi-tool, but I have it set for healing. I have it set for medical because I've got a tractor rifle. Alright. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I should have just caught that the first time. So, yeah, your salvage claims are by default unlocked. I'm so used to salvaging player ships, I didn't think about it. There we go. There still is sometimes the headache of grabbing the whole ship, but at least now there's a chance that I won't. Especially if you get up close. Like, here's our power plant. Damn it. Fucking bastard, man. There we go. My gosh. So annoying. Alright, send that over here. Let it sit. I am definitely getting myself a handheld multi-tool just because, yeah, this is going to be annoying. Your recent decouple video series was a major help for me. Lots of good tips and tricks crammed into those videos. Highly recommend for anyone still flying coupled. Thanks, Solace. Yeah, I was happy to finally give some people, some folks, a little bit of flight advice for getting out of that coupled mindset. Alright, what's the secret way here? Why are you... let me close this one. Maybe it's kind of in the way. Well, that's not the one I wanted to close. It's not that side. Is it this side? Yeah, it's this one. Alright. We don't need the radar. There we go. Or life support. There we go. Now maybe we can get this out. It's like they didn't make some of these quite as big as they needed to be able to move stuff. Give me the damn quantum drive. That arrow is not happy. Try from this side, maybe? Might just not get this quantum drive because it's too annoying. Jeez, dude. There we go. My gosh. Alright, yeah. Scorpius is not fun to pull crap out of. Not the best. Alright, we don't want that moving because it'll just keep going. Now I see where they got the design for the mole cargo. Yeah, right? You're not wrong. It's, that 8 SCU cargo grid can be a little tough to move some boxes around with how close it is to the thrusters and all. Okay, let's see. What else can we grab off the squirt before we start chomping on it? What do we got here? Is that a cooler? Yep. Cooler came out like a dream. That was awesome. Love it, love it. Kind of set it over here. Now, some of the missions do actually have you going for the weapons, too. Grabbing the guns off. What are these? Size 3s? Probably don't need those for a while. Probably not till we rank up a bit. Let's see. Let's grab the cooler off the other side. I am probably not going to be taking that quantum drive with me, which is unfortunate because that's one of the things we actually need. But it is a real pain. That's actually, that was a polar cooler. It's not bad. It's a Class B industrial or military, I think. Yeah, that thing just does not want to release that quantum drive. We do have a power plant over here that we can grab. A couple? Holy shit, how many power plants does this thing have? That's kind of nutty. Stop it. There we go. Alright. Sure, move it down and then pull it out. Alright. That's actually not bad, not bad. Cool, so it is nice that you're able to source some of this stuff from these salvage claims versus having to rely solely on player ships. I do like hunting for player ships, but sometimes you just don't get lucky, you know? The vulture's just big enough that I don't apparently grab it. Or never mind, my shields are up. That's what it is. Let's get this stuff put inside. This is another reason the Moth is so great. Honestly, that's the ship I would be running. But I need some RMC, and that is not the ship to get RMC in right now. Depending on the variation, I believe the Scorpius versions have either 2 or 3. I think the Wicklow version has 4. Damn! That's wild. Alright. Yeah, I'll mostly be using the cargo bay for components for these turn-ins. At least we can stack them here, which is nice. My style of salvage is mostly kind of routining ships anyway. Taking their components, breaking them down for construction material. I don't do a whole lot of RMC stuff. Not until I've really got a reason to, which hopefully comes with crafting. Guess we'll see. Nope, I wanted you to stack, man. Right on top. Like a good little polar cooler. There we go. Does it really just have one size 2 shield? I feel like I'm missing a shield. Take a peek real quick. I had the Moth, but same thing for me. I need RMC for the lower missions. Exactly, yeah. I mean, yeah. You gotta have your box of crews. Always gotta have some crews on you. Alright, why are you freaking out? It's dancing. Okay, it stopped. Is that really the only area where the shield is? Alright, well, that's fine. Let's go ahead and pull this thing apart, shall we? RMC is worth 8.9k at Terra Mills. That's actually higher than it's been in a long time. It's kind of impressive. Back in the day, it was like 10k, so it's nice to see it kind of getting up there again. I think that construction mats are closer to, what, 18k at Levski or some parts of Stanton? So it's still worth quite a bit more. I mostly would just get the RMC for mission turn-in at this point. Oh, and there's our wonderful black MFD issue again. It is a confirmed problem. Or wait, actually I don't think it is. Hold up. Hang on. If that's the issue council that I started, I'm going to put a link in the live stream chat for y'all so you can help contribute to this. Because I don't think they had one up that really made sense, and I made one. Let's see. My reports. MFD's blackout. Oh, it is confirmed. 19 have this issue. MFD's blackout when you leave and return to your ship. But I will still happily put this in the YouTube chat for you guys. So, yeah, I finally made this one because I looked and nobody had made it. So I was like, all right, cool. It is STRC196527. If anybody wants to help out and copy that over to Twitch as well, that'd be appreciated. But yeah, that's what this issue is. You have to power down to get them back, and then it resets your pips, which can be kind of annoying, so sometimes your radar might be off and stuff. Looks like we're doing okay, so that's fine. It's one of those little things. Alright, let's see. We are a trawler braid, which is what I like. Let's get it. Look at that speed that we're pulling this material off. I love it, man. I can't wait till the Moth gets this, because I will probably never use another salvage ship again. When the Moth is at full power, dude, oh, game over. Yeah, CM is really high priced, but refinery rates are really low. Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of how it is for mining now, too. It's just that the price for mining is worth the fall. I think the refinery rates on CM are actually quite a bit worse than mining, aren't they? Yeah, the resetting of pips is probably the thing that I hate the most when that happens. But yeah, I'm happy to see that it's already confirmed by CIG. Hell yeah, let's go. So they are now fully aware of it. Man, after trying to do this in the Moth so much, it's actually really refreshing to see how this thing is just munching on this material. And you're seeing my preferred combo in action again. I'm a Troth Abrade combo kind of guy. It's like this on my Vulture. It's like this on my Salvation. My Moth has a mix of Abrades, Tractor Beams, and Trawlers as well. To me, it's just a good balance of getting real deep, getting all the material you can, mixing in the efficiency of the Abrade with the total grab of the Trawler. Any min-maxing you might get out of a double Abrade or even a cinch combo, I don't think is really worth the time and sort of nitpick, but to each their own. If that's your way, man, you get it. You do what's best for you. There we go. I do like that some appreciated my method that if a ship might be a little bit too big for you to fracture, just get inside it and hit self-destruct. Watch it break apart into smaller pieces, and then you can probably get a lot more of it. Like, a Salvation can't fracture a Terrapin, but if you self-destruct the Terrapin, you can fracture every bit of it and bring it all in, which is nice. True mining's around 45%, CM's like 20, yeah. I've heard 15 quite a bit, 15 to 20, sounds about right. Is a new inventory system live in the PTU? So there's not a PTU for it right now. It was a tech preview. It was part of the crafting preview, and it's performing pretty well, honestly. Oh, cool, we just got credit for that. It's performing good enough that I didn't really think about it at all while I was trying to figure out crafting, which I think that's a good sign. I think that it was doing the job. It's a cleaner system than what we have. I don't know if they've ironed out all of the kinks. The patch notes didn't really have anything super new. Not to my knowledge on there. If anybody else from the tech preview can chime in there, feel free to. But I'm excited for it. I think it's pretty good. Alright, I think we are pretty much set there. Let's go ahead and kick on our fracture and start breaking this thing down. We got almost 3 SCU of... Well, shit. We got almost 3 SCU. Hang on. Let me see if I can scrape off enough to get to an even 3. I'd like to... There it is. Awesome. Alright, now I'll fracture. I found a player Ares ship just out in the middle of nowhere. It was full of grade A components. Needless to say, my Ares is fully upgraded. Let's go, dude. Hell yeah. Blew up a 600 ion pyro for 2 breaknecks and a few other goodies last night. Hell yes. The Utini lifestyle, guys. That's what I like to see. Alright, now we'll switch over and pull it in. Yeah, I know all the RMC came back. I ignore that. That's not intended. I don't judge anybody who scrapes again. Do what the game lets you do, but I scrape once and then I break and pull it in, so I can honestly just move on rather than getting caught up on one thing. Alright, come on. Gotta get a little closer to get this to sometimes finish pulling in here. I think that's probably the biggest part. This other stuff should all come pretty quick. What's up? I am doing good. I was hoping the tech preview would be going on a little bit longer today, but it is what it is. I am excited for 4.7, more for the Moth getting fixed than probably anything else, if I'm being honest. And also because we'll be one patch away from the Ironclad. Yeah? Because the next patch after this should be Invictus, man. It should be ILW. God, I can't wait for that. Drake salvage ship, this is the way. Hell yeah. Yeah, I either like running Drake or Argo for this kind of stuff, usually. I've never actually used the Misfortune. Maybe some might think that's a little misfortunate. Any fans of the Fortune in the chat? Let me know what you think of it. There we go. I was about to say, is this going to light up or nah? It's a little misleading. It feels like I was a lot farther, or a lot closer to this than apparently I was. Getting all these pieces. Come on. Heavy on the clad. I can't wait. Yeah, I love the Moth and excited for it to be fixed. Been flying it anyhow. Yeah. Invictus is typically, I think, in April, May timeframe, right? Yeah, May. So it should be, because what do we have? January, February, March, April, May, June. So yeah, this patch after this one, it's going to be go time, baby. We're going to have our Belter Life with the Drake Ironclad after Defense Con likely. I've already got, I'm just waiting. It's already pledged for me. I'm going to get that Dauntless paint. I'm so stoked. Didn't care for the Fortune at all. Really, Galactic? Interesting. Yeah, I've never really used it. I've had good times at the Prospector, so I wouldn't say that I haven't used it for any reason other than I just don't really need it. I already have a Vulture and a Salvation. If I can fit the Vulture on the Ironclad, that's going to be a game changer, dude. That'll be sick. All right, let's see if there's any other ships we can get parts off of. We got an A2. Is the Star Runner? Is that gold pass or no? We got another Inferno. I might go pick up the Moth anyway, just because. Do we really? I mean, RMC missions are a thing. I'm so torn. Yeah, we'll just fill up the Vulture with components and shit. We'll see if this one works. This is supposed to be right here. Purple Peter, what's up, Commander Tannant? How's it going? Yeah, I didn't bother with it. I thought they should have made the Mist Mining Fortune or whatever modular where you could swap between mining and salvage. That'd be cool. Lack of cargo access, main reasons. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. They both look like the same ship. They basically are. It's kind of like Mantis to Meteor, Apollo to Hermes. I wonder if the secret ship, the Lobster, is a heavily modified Vulture. Wait, Lobster? The secret ship? Is there another secret ship I'm missing? Melting my Polaris for the Ironclad in my buybacks for Invictus hits. Let's go. Yeah, the Vulture is pretty useful with the ability to, you know, go off grid as well. That's a good point. Are we actually going to get the... Oh, we actually got the Inferno this time. Right on, dude. All right, let's tick up our speed. Actually, let's go nav. It's too bad because I love the view from the pilot seat. Yeah, I do think that more MISC ships should go with their Prospector Fortune pilot seat views. I think that they kind of set the standard there, and it sucks that the other ships are so narrow. It's a lore ship. Rumors say that one person in the game have the prototype. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of that. All right, awesome. Oh, yeah. Kind of coming in a little bit too hot there. Let's do a little flip and burn action to slow down. There we go. All right, so another standard operating procedure here. This is just what I do for all of this. I get up to the ship. I go on board and unlock everything. The ports, though, on your salvage claims are already unlocked, as I just learned, which is pretty funny. I think I will, however, this time kind of back up to it a little bit, or just angle to where I'll be able to throw stuff into my bed. Or into the back of the ship, rather. All right, we're holding position. Should be fine. Let's see what we can pull off this thing. And these ships will always be, as far as I know, just standard. All right, let go of the ladder. No, no. See, this is why we need the F interact. God, if I was still doing the drinking game, that would have been like 4 shots. No. I will finish off my tequila, though. Oh, my gosh. Are we done? Are we done grabbing the ladder? Yeah, we're done? Okay, we're done. Cool. Let's turn those lights back on. Here comes the ladder stream, right? It just says lights off the whole time. Where's the on button? You son of a... Okay. Whatever. Alright. We're good. We'll just leave it there. What is that? Is that the station? Just not fully rendered in or something? Oh, no. Those might be buoys. Like travel buoys. Yeah, because there's the station. Alright. Alright, let's get in here. Yeah, this is the Ion Man with that big-ass sniper cannon. What's up? Cap, how do you go about melting a ship? Why don't I show you? It's down to the best teacher, right? Yo, James Havoc, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate that. All right, here, let's bring up... Lights on only work if the ship is powered on. Well, my Vulture's definitely on. We all had fun that stream. I'm glad. I'm glad folks had a good time there. That was funny. That was entertaining. A lot better than the THC drink, for sure. Okay. So as soon as I just make sure that there's no sensitive information shown, which I don't think there is. Yeah. And I don't care if you guys know how much I've spent on the game. It's fine. So, when you go to melt a ship, you can actually click on meltable to make sure you're able to melt said thing. And then it's your little arrow to the right. You click on that, and then you can hit exchange. And then when you do that, you just select these, you put in your password, and then you will get said store credit sent to your account. Whichever ship it is. You guys can see here, we got my Ironclad. No way in hell I would exchange that. But, oh, and I guess I can confirm I also don't have the Dauntless paint. Sad face. But, yeah, you just click on the little arrow, you hit exchange, accept, password, submit, and then you immediately get store credit. So, there you go, guys, for melting ships. Alright, let's get in here. I like to get into the ship, even though the ports are already unlocked. You know, shout out again to SC Haulers for correcting me on that. That was funny. I like to still get in the ship to stay in the good habit of fully powering things down and opening all doors. This ship is already off, but when you open all doors, it points out to exactly where the components on the ship are. Like the coolers that are sitting on the sides of the engines there, and the other components that should be on the back, or maybe they're underneath. But yeah, when you open all doors, it lets you see where shit is. That way you have an easier time taking components off of a ship. Play the drinking game. No! Can the store credit be used to buy multiple items of the same value as the melted ship? Yeah, your store credit is just like in-game store cash for you to use wherever you want. You can use it on paints, FPS gear, other ships, packages that include like the Heartseeker turret package. You're free to use it unless you're getting a ship with like an LTR war bond stuff. You can't use the store credit for that. You can only buy the ship bare, like the standalone ship, with store credit, or like paints and shit. I get a lot of my paints with store credit, actually. All right, let's pull this off and throw it over here. One of my mindsets behind doing this kind of salvage, guys, too, is to kind of like stock up on these components to be able to turn them in whenever the missions do arise. Like saying, like, hey, we need this many coolers and stuff. Well, I know that I've salvaged those coolers. They're probably chilling at Crew L1, Her L2, whatever your sort of working station is, to be able to turn in. Like, here we go. Here are the shields. That looks like our fuses, and that's our radar. So your radar is always this circular thing here. This is how you can tell what you're looking at. How much money you make from just components? I never thought of doing that. So the missions are really, in my opinion, for rep. I will say this contract isn't horrible. What are we making from this? 65K if we turn in 4 size 1 quantum drives and 4 size 1 power plants, which we'll have to see. We've got 3, I think, size 1 power plants from that Scorpius. So that's pretty sweet. These are size 2 components, though. These full stop shields and all. But the money isn't great, honestly. It's better than trying to sell components to stations, because you get like a couple hundred AUEC. So this is objectively better than that. But it's not like, you know, selling components on the player black market for billions of credits and shit that people do. But what I like is this gives us a reason to actually salvage components and to build rep with a faction that might yield some stuff for us later. That's the way I think about it. I really hope that eventually, like, with Kovalex or Red Wind or Adagio or Shubin Interstellar, that as you rank up, that maybe you get like a special skin that can go on your ship or your gun or something. Like rep-based rewards for your grind. And I would love for it to be aesthetics. Like cool stuff, to like a sticker or a paint job to put on something you have to show that, like, yeah, I did this thing and I got this reward for it because I like doing it. What is that, like the landing gear door that's open there? What is this, like, random space inside of this ship? You guys know what this is? I've never seen this before. It's gotta be the landing gear, right? That's such a crazy open cavity for, like, no reason. Some rep rewards apparently will be blueprints. Yes, blueprints! I mean, honestly, that's probably the best one it could be. I think that's pretty much everything. Weapon locker. What? There's a weapon locker on this bitch? Holy shit, guys, I didn't know that. You have a full-blown weapon locker in the back of the Ares right here. How cool is that? Hold up. Oh, dude, that's awesome. I guess you can fit 2 different things in the same spot, too? Or no, is it just like that? Yo, that's cool. I never knew this. Oh, that's awesome. I like those little details. Hell yeah. All right, give me that back. I need that. That's my special tractor beam. Where? Hold up. Wait a minute. Okay. Oh, there it is. About to lose my damn tractor beam, man. Okay, it's on my body. Cool, we're good. Love the Ares. Yeah, I do like these ships. I do. I have an Ares, Inferno, and Ion in-game purchased. The Inferno is a bit more usable. The Ares Ion used to be the shit, man. It was awesome. Now I'm kind of wondering where the hell my power plant is. Because we got coolers, we got shields. I don't remember pulling off our power plant. Power plants are usually a pretty obvious. In the long run, I would bet that they're going to do, like Eve, in your first mission you could do, and like any ship, give you a day or a week rental so you can start the career loop. Then you would get blueprints, ships, skins, tools. Yeah, that'd be awesome. On the bottom near the back. All right. Oh, hey, there's also a full-blown storage container here. Bottom near the back. There are 2. Okay. Where, oh, where are you hiding? See if I can figure this out. Weapon locker. Storage. I feel like they would be in this area. It's like a refuel canister or something. Wings, you had one just a second ago. What? Oh, I did? Oh, hold up. In the wings? Is it this spot? No. Looks like a spot that would open. Sorry, Jennings, I'm trying not to move too much so I don't end up like moving away. I had one just a second ago. Is it this Crusader tab? Max lift paint. Yeah, this is from the AA event. Wait, you said right there. So these, is it these spots? I'm going to stay right here until I get confirmation. Sorry, engines. Oh, engines. Okay, hang on. So where it says Crusader, is that right? Is it this spot here? See, the doors are open, so these fuckers should be out so I can grab them. Why? Is it bugged that I can't interact with it? Or... I don't have any icons. I've been redoing my keybinds for VKBs. I'm having some issues with moving the ship. Can you show me your bindings for flight movement and then the strafe section that should open? Yeah, I thought it should open, but it's not. It's being weird, man. It's being really freaking weird. But yeah, I can do that for you, Hazard, real quick. Keybinds, joysticks, flight movement. Okay. I'll leave it on here for a sec so you can see. That should show you everything that I have. So yeah, so I was looking at the right spot then, Jennings, right? So something weird might be happening with just this salvaged ship, which is fine. We can move on from that. I guess, Hazard 2, you could also probably take a screenshot of this, so I'll end up moving it. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me know if you need any other help. Maybe close all doors and open them again, see if it pops them open. Yeah, it's worth a test. Let's try it. Let's do some science here. Let's see if it works. The ship's like, man, you're up all in my business. I don't like it. Get out of here. All right. Oh, nope. It just wants me to engage cruise control. No, let me in the ship, stupid. Woo! Sorry. Wow. I mean, I know I hit mute there, but yeah. Big sneeze. Ship's like, nah, bro, get out of here. I'm not letting you in anymore. This Inferno is pissed, or this Ion. Let me in, damn it. Yeah, I don't think that these ships have engineering terminals, just being the fighter category. Yeah, I think this one's probably just bugged. I don't know why I did that. So we will organize our stuff here and munch and move on just for the sake of time. But we'll see how it happens with future ships. Let's see, can I put that there? That's not a bad spot to organize these, because I can do this, and then... Oh, this is also a full stop. That's kind of cool. We'll just put that right on top. Yay! And then... Well, I don't really like how much space there is between those. Can I put that there? Nope. Can I put it against the wall? This way? Yeah, there we go. That's what I want. Sometimes organizing components can be a little tedious because of how they want to fit on grids. Alright. Let's go ahead and munch this thing, yeah? Alright. I guess also I should take a peek at any missions in the area for, like turning in RMC and stuff. That would make sense. 5 SU of recycled material to MIC L1. Dude, damn. Recycled material to RL1 plus... Okay, that's better. We'll do that. 5 RMC and then 10, probably rubble, right? It's 15 total. We can fit that much. Alright, let's do this. I'm an idiot. Forgot I moved the speed limiter to the other stick. Oh, so you weren't moving because you were halted. That's funny. Dude, I've done that so many times, especially if I can't figure out why I'm not moving because I've got myself in scanning mode and your freaking speed limiter doesn't move. Like right now we're not moving. I'm adding thrust because my speed limiter's on, so I can tick that up a bit. And then, yay, we can move again. Do you lose... any one rewards with AA? No. So rewards from events like that basically function like a pledge does. So you're not going to lose any of that. I'm a bit unsure on Wicklow stuff. I hope Wicklow's the same way, but I know I've had people in my chat telling me that they've had either themselves or friends that have lost Wicklow stuff, and that breaks my heart, man. Hang on, do I have lamp? Oh my god, I do, but Jesus, fuck. I'm so sorry for that, guys. I wasn't expecting that to be so bright. I bound, so Hazard, I also made some changes. I put lamp on my stick. It's my pull down. I moved my coupled decoupled to the right hat on that same one. So I made a couple of changes. That way I can quickly toggle lamp, which is nice versus reaching for Alt-L on my keyboard. I like having just a quick toggle for it. See, we're getting some good RMC off these ships. I like this combo, man. I'm not a gimbal guy. I'm a decoupled guy. I don't need gimbal. I'd rather have my ship steadily moving because I can do like what I call basically typewriter. I can sort of like slightly strafe up and get whatever's in front of me by using my ship. If you like gimbal, that is all you. I like to use natural microgravity ship drift. Look at that. Look at how I'm just basically like a corn on the cob sort of typewriter status. Just because I'm slowly drifting and I can angle whatever way I want. I find this to be a lot more enjoyable. I've spent a lot of time salvaging, using the gimbaled mode. I personally find it to be super sloppy with like the fucking, these things like moving around like this. Like, I hate that, man. I hate it. I'd rather give my ship just a very slight, like, half meter per second drift and just kind of flow, dude. For me, it feels so much better. But people have their different styles, you know? I'm very comfortable with my ship just kind of, like, floating around. I do it when I'm mining as well, and I can just kind of change the direction I'm flowing with, like, little nudges on my stick to get every little bit I want. Decoupled for life, baby. And by the way, guys, if you haven't seen my decoupled videos, if you want to help the videos that are struggling, part 2 and part 3 are not getting the attention part 1 got, which is fine, but, you know, kind of sad face a little bit. Damn YouTube algorithms not recommending all the videos the same way. I am really happy, though, that the people who are watching those videos are getting a lot out of them. That makes me super happy. I'm glad to help people expand their flying horizons. In gimbal, you're just moving the scrapers. You can do the same with the mouse and slightly move it, let it go in that direction. Yeah, but I know. I just it feels like shit. I'm gonna be real. Like, for me, gimbaled feels like shit. It feels like total shit. If it's what you like, man, use the hell out of it. But this is my preferred method. I like to just move my ship around and use my sticks to direct where I'm looking and grab the material. It's just me being, you know, crazy Deadwake. Going to watch part 2 and 3 right now. Hell yeah, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, YouTube's funny that way. It'll kind of recommend the first video hard and the other two get like totally nerfed, but the comments I am getting on part 2 and 3 are awesome because, you know, people are, you know, seeing it in different ways with flying in atmosphere and in combat and all, which is really cool. You know, I bet gimbal probably works a lot better for people who probably are on keyboard and mouse. It probably feels incredible. That might be the missing part of the equation for me since I'm doing everything on flight sticks. So that sort of changes how I bomb with my ship. So that might be some of why I'm not as much a fan of it as some might be. Giving it a bit more thought. Deadwake Squad assemble. Thank you, man. Yeah, they're not very long videos. They're basically just meant to get people's mindsets to open up a little bit to what decoupled flight is, especially with all the new players that were coming in with the free fly event, because a lot of people will probably hear the words decoupled or coupled and be like, what the hell does that even mean? Like, I didn't know what it meant when I came into Star Citizen. I'm like, coupled flight versus decoupled flight? And be like, it's a strange descriptor for flying if you're, you know, not privy to just knowing what it is, in my opinion. So it was cool. I saw a lot of people that had that comment. They're like, I didn't know what the hell decoupled meant until I saw the video, and I was like, hell yeah. All right, so I am going to get these smaller pieces, then we'll sort of lighten the buffer a bit before we try to get that bigger piece, because we are already at 10 SCU out of 13 here. Gimbal with the sticks is too fidgety. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's too touchy since you're fighting the return to center. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is on sticks. It's like, it feels like it's fighting me more than it's helping me. I think you nailed it. Decoupled on K&M is great for bounty hunting if you struggle to stay in the target. Yeah, go decoupled, aim your ship behind you, destroy the target. Right on. Yeah, I was decoupled KBM before I got flight sticks because some of you guys probably know because I've said it quite a bit by now, I was really, really heavy into Kerbal Space Program. It was one of the only games that my laptop could support at the time until I tried to put all the mods on it, and then my laptop was like, why do you hate me, man? Why are you trying to make me do all this? F in the chat for Kerbal Space Program 2, falling victim to corporate greed and killing a game that could have been fucking amazing, man. God, that's so annoying. But yeah, the way you fly in Kerbal and dock and you use attitude control thrusters, you're using real orbital mechanics, Newtonian physics. So decoupled flight for me, even on KBM, I was like, oh, dude, this is my shit. This is like being in KSP. It's perfect. I know how to do this. All right, let's go ahead and do that hopper before we open this up. Yeah, gimbal on mouse is where it is, totally. That I bet is 100% the case. A lot of extra movement, though, right? Seems tiring. Not really, because the extra movement that you get, you learn to adaptively counter. You know, if you don't want to be moving that much, or you're moving, you know, just in a way that doesn't feel tiring because you're just used to it. Like me drifting in my ship at a couple meters per second doesn't feel tiring because I'm not out of control. I don't know. I think that in time, using decoupled flight, it becomes a bit more of a feeling of instinct than anything else, so you don't really notice maybe the drawbacks that you might think of from the outside in. Kind of like a loose analogy, people thinking about having an electric car. This might be some of you guys. My main YouTube channel, that's got about 13,000 subscribers, was actually just all about driving people around in my Tesla for Uber and Lyft. And I had so many great conversations, man, from people who just had no idea what it was like to live with an EV. They thought that maybe charging would be a really big pain in the ass, or that range would be an issue, or cold weather, or this and that and the other. And I was able to correct a lot of those concerns and fears with my own experience of having one. And I think it's kind of a similar thing with like never having tried decoupled flight and wondering if it might be more of a burden than trying it, if that makes sense. That might not have landed at all. I apologize. 2 Model Ys, let's go. Do you have the new one or the old? We have a first gen Model Y, and of course my little Mew, my first gen Model 3. I do want to get the new Y. My wife's probably going to get the R2. Waiting on the slate. Oh yeah, is that the truck? Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm a total car guy too. Like I want to have all kinds of crazy cars and fun shit in my driveway, not just EVs, but it's been fun being like a source of education and relief for people that want to make the jump, but they're terrified about finding chargers, or can they road trip? I mean, I've road tripped from California to Florida back and forth in my Model Y twice, or my wife's Model Y 2 or 3 times. We've gone to North Carolina and back. I took my Model 3 up to Oregon and back, like all this stuff. So it's also having gone through several hurricanes with EVs and reassuring people that that's not a problem either. It's been nice. And I think that my whole point is that basically some of the fears that might come with decoupled flight are probably not as bad as you think. But it's also the case that if you just enjoy the way coupled feels, just like, you know, gimbals when salvaging on a mouse, that's totally fine too. Nobody has to play any certain way, right? Yeah, this is where I'm kind of missing my moth, man. I really am. There's so much space in here. Yeah, the single cab truck like the old Rangers. Yeah, dude. Oh, I'm excited for the slate. That's the one I'm thinking of. It's got the badass like light rack. It looks like an old school like Tacoma or something. Yeah, I'm excited for that thing. That's so cool. Whoop. Ah, I can actually grid that one. Hell yeah. All right, we emptied it out. Cool. Let's go ahead and get the rest of the Aries. I missed my i8. Would get another if things lined up right. Oh, wow. Yeah, the i8. I honestly myself was not as big a fan of it, personally. But I knew it definitely, I mean, for me, it was the tires. The little 225 tires on it. But I know a couple of people that just loved, or no, not the i8. Wait a minute. The i8's the badass, right? It also has skinny ass tires, not gonna lie. But isn't the i8 the, like, almost supercar looking BMW? Hybrid, right? Hybrid electric? What was I just thinking of? The fucking i3? The little, like, R2-D2 looking one? It's been a while. I can't remember. Oh, wait, no. Fracture. Nope. Disintegrate. There it is. You're thinking of the i3. Yeah. i3. Yep. Sorry. Yeah, I realized it as I was saying. I was like, wait a minute. The i8's kind of a badass. That's fair. I wouldn't mind driving one of those. But the little, like, smart car looking one, I did have a couple of people that loved that thing. And it's not as bad once you're inside it. You know, more than two people would pretty much be impossible, but it is kind of an interesting design inside. See, like, for a couple of quarters, I was sort of like temporary backup help for Tesla. And part of that was, like, moving the new cars to the staging lot for them to sell, but also taking all the trade-ins back. That's what most of us love to do, because we get everything you can imagine, like Mini Coopers, BMWs, like Honda Civic SIs, freaking Continental, like everything, from street cars to like damn near supercars. So we'd be fighting for the keys to take them back, driving them in, and that was the first time I got into an i3, and I was like, huh, I'd never own it, but it isn't as bad once you get inside it. I guess it's probably what some people would say about the Cybertruck, because the outside looks totally insane, but the inside, you're like, hot damn, this is crazy. All right, let's see what else is like maybe around us here that we can also get parts from. We got a Redeemer, we got an A2, M2, Vanguard, Mercury Star Runner, which I think I asked the chat. I don't think the Mercury Star Runner is Gold Pass, right? We got a Mole. Yo, the real flop, thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Oh, shit, the Slate looks awesome. Never seen that. Yeah, the Slate is sick, man. I have big hopes for the Slate. I really hope it comes out swinging. I was actually one of the last employees for Arkimoto, the FUV company. I'll spell it in the chat if you guys want to look it up. It was such a cool vehicle, man, but our leadership just got too multi-focused and didn't stay on task, and we ran out of money. I was a traveling mechanic for them, a technician, so I was doing like battery and electronics overhauls and servicing people in Arizona, Northern California, Reno, Nevada, all over Vegas and San Diego and the Bay Area too. Like I was in a little Ford Transit van mobile mechanic, which is why I make jokes in Star Citizen that I can't wait to get like the Vulcan and shit to be a space mechanic. I think that'd be fun as hell. But yeah, I've been pretty big in that space for a while. R.I.P. Arkimoto. Have you seen Edison Motors up in Canada? That sounds super familiar, honestly. I can't think of what they might be doing offhand. I know that I was also eager to see what might come from the totally spaced. Oh, the Aptera out of California as well. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm not seeing any other ships that I could grab some stuff from. I also didn't really keep count of how much salvage we have on hand. What's our mission again? I've been having too much fun chatting with you guys. Let's see. Oh yeah, Hurl 4, there's a Terrapin that I know we can get stuff from, so why don't we head that way? It's only a good 32 gigs away. Well, no problem. Let's do it. I actually don't think we're going to be able to fit everything. So maybe we don't go there yet. Maybe we go to Krill 1 first. Drop stuff off. Maybe even pick up the Moth. I don't know. We're getting the... Okay, it turned off. Let's come out of mining mode and all. There we go. Why does it say we're obstructed? The Mole is 80k if you just sell the bags off of it. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you can get the bags. Edison does electric trucks. Seen a few vids on YouTube. I'll have to check that out, actually. I know that there was the controversial Nikola. Jeez, I totally like spaced on that for a second with that whack job Trevor Milton. But since getting rid of him, I think the company is doing kind of okay with what their goals are. With the tray and all. But man, talk about a controversy. You want some entertainment, look up the craziness that happened with Trevor Milton and Nikola Motors. Well, there goes that drink. Alright. We were farther from Krill 1 than I thought. Oh yeah, if I stop here, we should be about in the belt. Oh no, maybe not yet. Hang on. Where, oh where? How far in are we? Wait, hold up. Did I not turn around enough? The heck? Mark L3. Oh yeah, Fisker, the company that struggled and got bought by China and then sort of came back a little bit. Oh, I'm not quite far enough to Corel 1. The belt is a little bit closer to Corel 1 from where we're at now. I'll tell you what, man, the Fisker Karma, it's a pretty cool looking sort of Maserati Ferrari hybrid kind of a car. I know there's definitely some drama with Fisker and Tesla from the early days. I mean, when isn't there drama when you're dealing with that kind of shit, right? Alright, let's go. So about another 2 gigs forward, if we were to stop, we should pop out right in the Aaron Halo. A great spot to go mining, a place where I spent a lot of my time for the Evocati Tech Preview, getting whatever materials I could. It was mostly iron, titanium, aluminum. Those are like the most common things I was seeing. Okay, let's see. Right around here? Still no? Been a while since I've looked at it from this side. I feel like we got to be close to it. Maybe I've passed through it already. Not a truck driver, but I enjoy watching Edison Motors develop their diesel-electric heavy-duty trucks. Hell yeah. That's honestly the side of the industry that is the most impactful for, you know, national and even global emissions. You're dealing with the airline industry, long-haul trucking, and massive container ships. Probably the biggest contributors and such. What the heck, man? Alright, am I that crazy? I shouldn't be. Oh yeah, we're like right on it. Like another 500 gigs forward or so. Not that I need to go into the belt, but now I'm just like stubborn to freaking get there. Still losing track of where Corel 1 is. This way. I went way too far. Let's re-angle ourselves. There we go. About another gig. Have you done any of the collections missions that week? I haven't. I sort of got lucky that our org were able to basically have one guy turn in like 80 missions and get us all done. But from what I understand, you should be able to source them out by doing mining. I plan to actually do that with my buddy Ruck soon. There we go. Now we're in the Halo. Great place to source your materials for the collections missions, the Bexelite and all. I think including ice as well. Love me the Aaron Halo, man. Do you have any specific questions, JDM, about doing those collections missions, or you kind of just bulldozing through them, or trying to get them done? All right, let's finish getting to Corel 1, shall we? Kind of take note of how much stuff we have. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. I just thought of something. Because you get change back for overturning in. I don't know if it's all construction material or if it's also recycled material. But I think I have a buttload of like reclaimer salvage stuff sitting at Corel 1. Maybe. Or maybe that's all at Levski actually. I started one but don't know how to find Rantadung. Oh, I actually don't either. Malice was talking about Rantadung. If he's still in the chat, he might have that answer. I would probably go for things that I'm more familiar with, like Bexelite. I think that's one of them. Just because I know how to mine that. I have no idea where to find Ranta shit. Personally. Anybody in the chat can help our buddy out here if they've got any experience running that particular commodity. It's kind of funny to call it a commodity. Material. The Planet Moon descriptions say that you can find them there, but you can also find them in Stanton Outpost loot boxes. Oh, you can. I've found them at like ASD facilities. I don't know to what degree, like how much. Used to be able to get it in caves. I have found them in like ASD loot boxes. The Onyx missions, yeah, that makes sense. That's the one place I think I've actually seen them myself. I forgot. Thank you guys for speaking up in the chat, helping a fellow player out. That is awesome. I think my buddy Kobas got his done with Dakari pods. It seems to be, it's definitely not a mineable ore because it's like animal poop. But finding it in caves and in loot boxes are probably the best way you can get it. You just pick it up by hand. Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Just bring your poop bags, man. Your Ranta poop bags. Rantas are basically Star Citizen rats, right? Like Alep rats, I think? Or are they like the bigger like cow things? Actually, I'm not sure. If it's old enough, it might need to be mined, right? Can get them in boxes in some pyro locations like Ashland, Last Landings. Okay. Yeah, thank you guys. It's literally poop. Yeah. Ranta dung is literally poop. You didn't know what you were getting into, JDM? You're transporting animal shit. That's awesome. Alright, let's drop this stuff off. I might check and see if the moth is here. I kind of want to grab the moth. I also need to see... I'm pretty sure all the shit from the Reclaimer is actually back at Levski Station. I don't think it's here. Gotta have those down store all afterward. Yeah. Hose down the store all. Yes. Oh, that's funny. That might have just made my day. Poor guy didn't know he was looking for animal shit. That is amazing. Oh, we might have some stuff here. Might rotate the ship so I'm pointing back so it's just easier to offload. I always forget the small hangars because I don't use them too often. Oh, it's cool. I just noticed on the map you can see like the little pink icon that's like our ship and what's happening. I haven't like seen it like that. Or no, that's the loot inside our cargo bay. That's funny. I haven't used these small hangars enough to remember that it only has that one cargo area that's in the upper, like, forward right position, which is totally different than medium and large, or pretty much any of the others. Alright, so we will just rotate. That way we can offload quickly. Look at you slumming in the small hangars. I know, man. I know. That big ship privilege is a problem, dude. That should be a pretty good angle. Yeah. Am I even going to be inside of... Yeah, we'll be able to store the ship like this. Wicked. It does feel good to be flying the Vulture again. I will say that. I do like this ship quite a bit. Yeah, thanks, man. Good old Carnival paint. Alright, let's see. We're going to separate. Okay, so confirmed it is construction rubble, which makes sense because I think pieces is only... moth. I think rubble is everything else aside from the Reclaimer, which is actually salvage. And I think they each have the different yields, the salvage being the best yields. I'm going to separate these so I can see if I've got 5 or not. We got 2, 3, because 5 is the pretty standard number for turning in these missions. 4, hell yeah, it's looking good. I'll probably bring these up with the moth to turn in. Yep, there's 5. Awesome. Yeah, I think we're going to switch ships. And then 6. Awesome, awesome. Because I'm hoping I don't need to worry about recycled material as much now. Actually, grid that down. I love the red paint you got on it. On my tractor rifle? Because I like this a lot too. I'm a big fan of the AA skins. Come on. There we go. Need to finish Alliance Aid so I can get back to Salvage. The arugula shall fly again. Hell yeah. Yeah, I was really happy that they gave us a second tractor rifle because we have the nice deep green Alliance Aid tractor rifle, and then you also have the red. So that's really cool. And then, of course, I got the Coromor SRT. It's a really badass purple. Purple's one of my favorite colors. Not obvious. But and I was sad because I ended up losing that SRT to a player that killed us while we were out in the Moth on that one live stream. It was so mean. Alright, let's send this down. Alright, let's go. We'll store this, and then the Moth should be here. If it's not, then we'll wait for it. We'll sort through some stuff. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that Alliance stuff done with you, Ruck. Are you wanting to try to hook up tonight to do that, or tomorrow? Let me know, man. I'd be down. Get the mole out, have some fun. What am I doing, Drake? There it is. Store that beauty away. You attracted the wrong type of attention with your love salvage gun. Yeah, apparently. I forgot that I put it on the damn rack, man. Oh, sad face. I should have had it on my back, because the reason I didn't is because, you know, things that are equipped to your person, they obviously don't go away when you die. And I, you know, didn't want to lose my S71 Bullseye rifle. Thing is, thanks to just Star Citizen shenanigans, I for some reason have like 3 or 4 S71 Bullseye rifles. I only have one Coromor SRT. So, yeah, I should have had my rifle on the rack or in my inventory, not the SRT. Lessons learned. All right, let's see. Is the Moth here? Is my Moth gone? No! Wait a minute. What? It's, oh man, they really don't let us have those for very long, do they? Damn. That means I gotta commit and actually, like, buy it. I mean, I set aside some store credit for that reason. I hadn't bought the Moth yet because I didn't think we'd be losing it yet. See, you know, for a while, when you had a subscribership, that thing stuck around for like the whole patch, dude. That apparently is not the way anymore. Oh, man, that means I lost the skin too. Because even if when I get it, everything that was equipped to it, like all of my grade A military components, again, are gone. God, bitch. Oh. Yeah, I can melt and rebuy the skins. I know. That's only part of it. Hopefully I learned just not to do that anymore. Man, I wasn't really prepared to... How much store credit am I sitting on? Almost enough. How much is the Moth again? Shop. There it is. Man, messing with my flow. I'm not too far off from it. Okay. Sorry, bear with me, guys. I'm going to correct this real quick. Looking at it now. Where is Argo? There it is. Oh, I was about to say, can I not pledge it? I wasn't seeing it for a second. There it is. Argo Moth. Oh, it's got its own Love Struck paint, which actually looks pretty good. Granted, I'm all about that Rockwell life personally. Okay. I think we might be ready. So we're not losing the chat. You need some hold music or something. Maybe a little dance, right? I know. Just gonna stare at my dead face. How many of you guys either pledged the moth or returned it because of its current bugs? I'd love to know y'all's thoughts down below. I'm still tabbed into the game, which is why that wasn't working. There we go. Yeah, there it is. Okay. All right. Let's see here. I don't need anything else. Sorry, Chris Roberts. Not today. Not today. You only get a little bit of my monies. I had to pledge it. Yeah. Yeah, even with the issues with the scraping, especially since, again, I'm not like a scrape main. I'm a salvage components and then dismantle the ship kind of a guy. I didn't really have much issue with the bugs that were causing people to want to get rid of the ship. We'll just do this much for now. Yeah, I actually melted my Asgard to be able to make this happen. And I think we're set, so continue. Agree. There she blows. All right, we are now the owners, the proper owners of an Argo Moth. And the way to just go ahead and get it is actually you can just Alt F4. But what I do is I Alt F4 and then I Control Shift R to reset the launcher. That way I don't have to restart where I'm at or anything. I can just hop right back into the game. And then it will be ready for me. Moth is my favorite. Still does what I want. Lets me steal a bunch of stuff and then munch the ship. Exactly, man. I agree. Need someone to hold the server? Oh, no, I should be all right. Because, well, fuck. Should be all right. Well, so this is my trick. So some of you guys might know that my Alt F4 hasn't been all that reliable because I'll hop back in and it'll send me somewhere else. But I did notice something. So let's see if it changes the shard we're going to go to. I try to enter and then I cancel it when it's not what it should be. Like, yeah, I don't think that's it. Now I try to go in again. Well, it's still saying Optimistic Moons over and over. So I'm going to wait till my friends list populates because I don't think that's the shard I should be in. JDM, you're in my server. Okay, cool. I can probably join on you. We'll see if Optimistic Moons was technically it. Once the Moth is fixed, I'll get it. Then again, I'll probably just wait for the Galaxy. Yeah, so the Galaxy is a big refining vessel, right? Let me know, guys. What is it about the Galaxy? I think it's also bigger that has you maybe wanting to wait for it or super excited for it to come out at the end of the year. I know it's supposed to be coming out during IAE. It's super exciting. Even with the current issues, I love my Moth. Once the scraping issue's fixed, I'll probably use that over my Reclaimer or Vulture for daily salvage. Yeah, cargo elevator is so good. Yeah, there's so much space to carry all the components and weapons and mining heads and all that you'd be able to take with you. I got a Galaxy for base building. I thought that the Pioneer was like the big base builder. Is the Galaxy a base builder as well? I might need to take a peek at this while we're waiting on our friends list to wake the hell up. Huh. Here, let me try this. Star Citizen's been a little weird lately. It hasn't been populating that right. Galaxy has base building module planned. Okay. It's below a Pioneer, but above the CSV. What's your opinion on the Odyssey? I know the Mystic Endeavor I'm excited about. This science vessel, but the Odyssey I'm spacing on. Is that also a refinery vessel? Galaxy's modular, first coming with medical, refining, and cargo. The modules confirmed for later. Okay. Hey, your outfit kind of matches your wallpaper. Ah, yeah. I'm just kind of blending in. Here, why don't I look up the Galaxy and all? Let's see. It's the Mystic Explorer. Okay. Yeah, why don't we, while we wait on the launcher to wake the hell up, we'll take a peek at future ships that I'm going to try not to buy. So I'll take a peek at the Galaxy first. I want to see, because I haven't actually like looked at it. I've just heard about it. I know that Val's really excited for it. Oh yeah, I'm seeing the Odyssey there. Is the Expanse also in that same category? Like MISC ship? Hang on. Because there are a few big boats that I think people are excited to get to, hopefully more sooner than later here. Galaxy's RSI, right? Unavailable. Oh, the Arastra. Oh, I can't wait for that thing. There it is, yeah. It's the Star Destroyer looking thing. The Expanse comes with a protomolecule quantum drive. That'd be wild. That would be so sick. Small refinery, I believe. Okay. Well done with the protomolecule reference. I love that. Yes, it does. Hell yeah. So it's a large vessel. It's a very good looking RSI design language, as one would expect. Featuring a fully modular design and an onboard hangar capable of deploying small ships. Cutting edge Galaxy's versatility built into its DNA. Oh, cool, cool. Just going for a full, like, whatever you might need kind of a look. That's an impressive freaking hangar, dude. Coming right out the back. That is exciting. All right. So that's a Galaxy. What was the other one? It was MISC. So this is the one for me. I'm excited about this thing. It is probably going to come out by the year 2040. The modular science vessel. That is a particle collider. That's one of the things I'm excited about, like doing science experiments. And that is a large, I think that's like a freaking 10-meter telescope array. Like, oh my gosh, this thing gets my science boner going, guys. It's, well, pun intended, because it's a MISC ship, you know, and you know how MISC ships look. Oh, dude, I'm so ready for this thing. That's such a cool concept. They got to really, like, get docking down, though, for this to come out properly. Look at that particle accelerator there. Oh, it's so cool. All right, anyway, back to the others. That's a huge tallywhacker. All right, there's the Expanse. Yeah, it is a bit smaller. Okay, it's kind of like the refinery equivalent, or smaller refinery version of, like, the Gemini. The Starfarer is what I would guess. Except it's much, much smaller. This is tiny compared to a Starfarer. Kind of hunky, though, for a small ship. It's got the bags on the side. In development. That's pretty sweet. The Endeavor would need the command ship tech that is being done for Drake as well. Yeah, yeah. No, Starfarer isn't. I'm just saying it's the counterpart. Like, Starfarer is a refueling vessel. The Expanse is a refinery vessel. Starfarer does have refinery tabs on it, but I think it's like specific fuel refinement. Of course, we have these big beasts. There's the Odyssey. Surveying. All right, so yeah, it's basically their Carrack, right? Yeah. The Odyssey is the Starlancer Attack Carrack edition. That thing is nasty, though, dude. Oh, hold up. Oh, self-sufficient, so it can mine its own materials to keep moving, right? I was about to say, that's a freaking mining head on that thing. In development. Man, no telling when ships like this will come in. And my friends list still isn't populating. Spirited Event. Oh, it's a different shard now. I think that's my shard. I think it corrected. I just had to wait. Let's see. See, it was a different one beforehand. All right, we'll find out if we pop in. Arastra is going to make the Expanse obsolete, I think. Yeah, see, that's the thing to consider, too. Like, a lot of these older ships are from teams that aren't here anymore, or the goal has changed, you know? Things are different now, so there might be some... Like, it would be sad if things like the Orion or the Endeavor, the Expanse and such, didn't make it to the game. They might make it to the game in a different look, or a different form, you know what I mean? It might be... reimagined. Nope. I think I still... Oh, wait, no, I was at a station. We're fine. I think the Expanse could still have a niche with smaller groups. I agree. Especially like Org. org ops, org support, or just player-to-player support. I mean, I think it's probably a lot of us that like the idea of kind of playing that support role. I mean, in all the MMOs that I've always loved, I like being like the healer support character for my team. And I think about that similarly to like being a mechanic or a refueler or hell, a resupplier. Like I was joking with Ruck that I could be his Raz vessel in a Kraken one day with my Ironclad, bringing him all the stuff he would need, or like, you know, just kind of being that support role that I've enjoyed. In the Odyssey Q&A, they said the refinery on the ship goes directly into the fuel tank, so it's only for mining fuel. Yeah, it's that self-sufficiency, Hornet. Yeah, exactly. It's to keep itself running. There it is. We got our moth, and we can deliver it straight here. Let's go. Wicked, so we don't have to wait on it. That worked out. I'll have to go back to Levski to get delivery put back on it, but that's fine. We'll be all right. We got our Mothman. I am going to swap to the Hemera Quantum Drive. I think I might snag the shield off of my Corsair. Is it here? No, it isn't. I'll get that later. Let me... Because I got some good Class A civilian stuff. Oh, I know. That's in Tech Preview. Never mind. Forget that. I'm confusing my different worlds of gaming. A golem and an expanse on a liberator can have a nice mining operation. Yeah, that'd be a fun time. Expanse for on-site quant refinery, but Galaxy for the bigger stuff. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there are plenty of players that'll find all kinds of fun ways to use these ships. No doubt, man. Alright, I just want to check my heads on this thing, which... all the braids and stuff and cinch. I mean, that's fine. I'm not going to be doing RMC really anyway, so it is all good. Let's see if we still have a hangar. I don't think so. I'll probably have to call the ship. So with the Moth, be able to frac C2 type ships. So it can fracture Starfare and Caterpillars just fine. C2s are a bit too big. Even if you ignite it with self-destruct, unfortunately, or detonate it, it's still a little too big. So I do think it's okay, though, to have ships that give you a reason to need the Reclaimer. I also hope that in the future, kind of like having two Moths on a really big asteroid, that you could have tandem fracture and then kind of divvy up who wants to disintegrate whatever to pull in the construction materials. I think it'd be really cool to have like a group of Salvations or a couple of Moths together to break bigger and bigger stuff. But that's admittedly probably a challenging thing to solve. So we might see that in future iterations of the gameplay. But for now, the Moth is basically limited to anything smaller than like a C2 or a Carrack. At least I don't think it can break apart a Carrack if you detonate it. I haven't specifically tried that yet. I am going to drop this to get some of those components on board that we might need to turn in. Yeah, I did the crafting preview all free. It was a good time. Or waffle fry. Sorry, I just saw that. Yeah, I just wrapped up tech preview testing this morning, actually. And I am excited for those changes to come. I'm excited to get through the initial phases of those changes so we can get to the really fun stuff later. Or the more in-depth stuff, I should say. Okay, let's see. These are size 2s. We really don't need any size 2 stuff. Oh shit, I got some NDB30s chilling here. What is this? Is that a size 1? That's not a salvaged size 1, though. Ah, man. I'm not going to be able to remember everything I salvaged versus what came here. Aside from like Class A industrial stuff, I know that these were salvaged. I salvaged the Ramparts. Don't need them, though. The Thermax was salvaged. I did salvage the Lux Cores, the Nova, Obscura, Thermax. I don't know about the Bulwarks, but they're size 2. We still have the Colossus Bombs. And all of my mining shit. Okay. Maelstroms, definitely. I really don't want to mess anything bigger than size 1 for now for mission turn-in. Definitely not going to turn those in. There we go. The Regulus are some that we just got. More Polars. Okay. So we'll bring all this stuff with us for mission turn-ins. Inventory actually is pretty good. It's intuitive enough that I was able to use it without really thinking about it much when I was actually messing with the crafting. It's clean. It's pretty refined. I like that for putting stuff in your hand. Just to show you guys something that I really actually like. So with our current system, if you have like something in your inventory, like over here, and you want to put it in your hand, you have to put it down here, like on your hand symbol, right? So it's kind of hard to visualize here, but basically picture this is the new inventory system, and these boxes here are like your equipped weapons and stuff. There's basically a bar that is almost as big as this that has a hand symbol on it. And you can literally just drag your weapon into that slot and you pick it up. Or a cruise smoothie drink into that slot and you pick it up in your hand. So it's like a nice big hand slot for whatever you want to put in your hand versus this little crap we've been having for years. So that's one of the little things I really like. Aside from that, it's just more refined. It's clean. The search function is probably my favorite because you can literally hit I and then you're like right up in this space, but on the other side for your local inventory, you can literally type in like Artemex or Aztalon or Killshot and get straight to the thing that you want. There's a lot of dope quality of life things that they've done. Oh yeah, those size 2 power plants I probably don't need actually. We'll send those back down. I think that the inventory is at a point where they could give it to us from this tech preview, honestly, because I know they want to do it as a pair with crafting, and I think crafting just needs a little bit of tweaking before it's ready to give us their like tier 0 implementation of it, which is pretty much just going to be guns and armor. Just to kind of get it out to a wider branch of testing. I'm really excited because we are probably, since we're about a month away from the new patch coming out, we should be very close to PTU. Especially, it'll be my first time Evocati PTU, which I can't wait for. We're probably a week away from that, or less, I would assume. Actually, given just how much time there is remaining. Oh, wait, no. I just said we probably don't need the size 2 power plant. So let's set that aside. Because these early missions are all like size 0 and size 1 shit. So no reason to take that stuff with us. Oh, Lux cores are also size 2s. Okay. We'll move those around. I will be getting a lot more familiar with components that I don't really ever take anywhere. Okay, even the Nova's a size 2, so we'll just take this stuff. I can't wait for that to come. Yeah. Crafting question. Does it show you what materials the item has before you dismantle it? I don't want to lose an item by dismantling it. So, yeah, when you go to dismantle an item, before you hit dismantle, it shows you what you're getting. Like, when I dismantled the other guns that I had bought, even though it was base quality, I saw that I was going to get, like, aluminum and hephaestonite out of it. So, yeah, you'll be able to see the materials that you're going to get from the item that you're going to dismantle. That way you can check and see, like, what items can I dismantle to maybe make this other part? They do show you that. So that's nice. You won't have to worry that, you know, it's not like I have to dismantle it to magically find out what it might give me, or if it's random. It's consistent. And you get that notification ahead of time. And yeah, guys, if you have inventory or crafting questions, if I know the answers, I will happily let you know. If I don't know, I'll just say that. But if I do know, I am happy to share my findings and my thoughts on it. All right, we'll leave that because that's a size 2. Let's go ahead and throw this other polar out here. We're going to be rocking the base 2-tone paint, which doesn't look too bad. Materials and quality for dismantling. So, your base material quality that you're going to get, like if you buy an item at a store to dismantle, is going to be pretty low. It's going to be the 200, which even going out and sourcing this stuff, 200 to 300 was pretty common. Getting up into the 4s and 5s is a bit more rare. But do you have a specific question around that, or just like how it functions? Because essentially, the item qualities all act as like a different item. I've said that a couple of times, whereas like, you know, if you have iron 500 versus iron 400, they show up differently, both in the boxes, refined, as well as when you're, you know, you got them in your bags from mining them, and then, you know, putting them on the weapon slot. What is kind of cool, the crafting screen, basically like you would click on the gun or the piece of armor that's like right here in the middle, and then it would give you like the SU items that you would basically drag and drop into those slots, and then over here on the side you would hit craft, and then it would go into like a queue, because you can choose like queue to the bottom, dismantle in the middle, and craft on the top. And this area would show you like all of your blueprints, red if you don't have the materials, yellow if you have some of the materials, and green if you can craft said item. I know it's kind of hard to visualize without actually seeing it, but I just want the inventory to be awesome and most of all work. Yeah, and for the most part, it seems pretty solid in that way. It's simple and clean. I think it's not overdone. I didn't really get to test the stack all function to see if they really fixed that properly yet, so that's kind of an open question, but I hope so. Okay, so that's all just going to kind of stay there. That's fine. All right. Oh, wait. RMC. And we got to send this stuff down. It'd be nice if you could craft a pulverizer with a lesser material that provides a lesser weight, make LMG running light again, make LMG running fun again. Yeah, I didn't see anything like that, unfortunately, but I see what you're saying. That'd be pretty cool. Lighten the load a little bit, you know. Pulverizer light. Pulverizer on Ozempic. That'd be funny. All right, let's see. Commodity containers here. RMC. Bring it all. Do I have any other bits of RMC? So it's... Oh, I do have some Reclaimer shit here. No, this might have been from the mole. Or the moth, actually. Construction pieces, rubble. Oh, or RMC. I am bringing all the RMC. Yeah, cool. We might be able to do 2 missions. And then, construction rubble. Because some of them require, like, turning in 5 or so. We can get construction stuff while we're out. That's the easy thing to get with the moth. Hey, have you seen the cast for Squadron 42? It's crazy. Oh, of course. Of course. You, finding the Star Citizen life for the first time, or the Squadron 42 life for the first time, it's incredible. There's so much good footage showing legends like Mark Hamill, Gary Oldman, Henry Cavill. I mean, the talent that they have on Squadron 42 is insane. I cannot wait to experience that gameplay. It's been fun watching kind of all the random people react to that wild battle footage of the UEE versus the Van Duel fleet that comes in with the King ship. Absolutely crazy. I could watch that over and over and over. It's just so good. Especially the battle music that kicks in when the King ship shows itself. It's next level, man. That one RMC is just like stuck down there, dude. What is up, Baron? How you doing, man? I am going to, at some point, probably need your assistance kitting out some ships. Because my moth got eaten, and I lost all my goodies, because I'm stupid. It's all good, though. I got my actual moth now. This is Deadwake's moth. This isn't Chris Roberts' moth that hijacks my skins and components. I just saw it and went, I need this game now. Yeah, I know. You're right there with a lot of us. I can't wait. When I do finally get the chance to play Squadron 42, I will be live streaming that entire experience. I know a lot of you guys will be playing it yourselves, but for folks who can't or are curious about it or don't have a PC or whatever the case might be, I will be live streaming every bit of me going through Squadron 42. That is my promise to you now. From my first impression on the teaser, the inventory looks like TMI with the UI showing too much in your face with cluttered bubbles. It's actually not that bad. It really isn't. They've made some really nice refinement to how much is showing. Because yeah, we've seen that criticism before. I will say, like, one of my points of bringing up that I basically didn't really think about it while I was doing the crafting stuff is actually a good thing, because it was just kind of in the background doing its job like a good inventory system. It wasn't something I really had to think about too much or mess with too much in any sort of excessive way. So it might be, it's different. You know, there are bubbles and stuff, but I think the UI color and placement is something you'll get used to pretty fast. I did. Wolf Rex. And I've been playing Star Citizen for a while, but not really good at it. Don't worry, that's a large bit of the player base. It's a wild game. Well, welcome to the stream. And I know you've been playing Star Citizen for a while, but welcome to the verse from little old me and the OLISAR group. Hopefully you're having a good time. If you ever have questions, especially about the industrial gameplay side of things, there are tons of us that are ready to help. And yeah, I like it when we have a good even number of crates that we can put in here. So cool, about 12 RMC. That's at least 2 of the small missions worth, plus small components. So let's get some of this done. Yeah, Waffle, I'm pretty excited. I'm looking forward to those changes coming. I kind of wish they would just get here already. Who doesn't though, right? But after also messing with it, playing with it in Evo, I'm a little bit more eager because I've experienced it. And so now being back on this system, this inventory system, that's probably another good sign. I hate this. After using the new inventory system, like the one we have now, it just feels so clunky and unrefined. So I'm stoked. Took a break, but I plan on coming back in 4.7 for the inventory and crafting stuff. Yeah, and I hope that's when it hits. There's a good chance it is. Biggest thing I would like from Squadron 42 is the Vandal ship visuals updated. Yes, I want the glaive, the blade, the scythe to all get that beautiful design that the Stinger has. It's so good, man. There we go. Power this big girl up. Oh my gosh, we have that nasty freaking cooler that takes all of that power. Oh, it hurts me. That's fine. All we really need is power to engines and shields. That's all I really care about. Alright. Get into decoupled mode and get on out of here. Okay, so now that we've got a decent size 2 quantum drive, we can look at... Oh, wow, no, it didn't put me back in my shard. Damn it, we lost those missions. That's fine. Oh, look, here it is. Sweet. Got the same mission, except a beautiful Glen Station, which is Krill 5. Let's see what other ones we might have gotten. 5 recycled material to Krill 1. You bastard. Then we got Hurl 1. Need some construction rubble for that, or construction pieces for that, which we'll get our hands on. That's not bad. We'll go ahead and accept that. And what else are we rocking? Size 2 stuff, I don't really care about. So we'll set in a ship to go grab stuff. I would like to get something smaller if possible, like a hull A. We got a couple of starfighters, Connies. Okay, so we'll... Krill 4. We'll grab that one. And... Nope, that's not what I wanted. Where'd the other salvage missions go? There they are. It took a while for it to register me scrolling. Vanguard. Alright, we got another Ares. Alright, well, let's turn around and go back on station so we can turn in the RMC that this station needs. That's funny. Hangar queue at Krill 1? Are you kidding me right now? What is this? Oh no. Well, how much? Okay, almost 500 people in this shard. Yeah, there it is. Alright, well, it is what it is. How are the pads here? Are the pads gunked up? Because maybe we can do some pad cleanup. No, the pads are fine. Damn, man. Do I want to wait for a hangar queue? Sorry, last question. Still limited in what to craft, but what materials did you find most needed for better crafting? So the better crafting came from, I want to say it was Azlerite, and then of course things like Terranite, Bexelite, the higher quality mining materials. It was pretty self-explanatory in that sense. Like the higher quality material, the better. We weren't able to actually work with Auratite, O-U-R-A-T-I-T-E. Yeah, Auratite, like Auratite, because we weren't able to extract it. It's kind of a known issue right now. But Azlerite was a go-to, and it was always in lower quality, which sucks. I managed to get one thing that was like in the 300s on the Azlerite side, and I found that in the Halo most often. But most of the stuff to craft was pretty common stuff. It was like Hephaestonite, tungsten, titanium, aluminum. We didn't have too many, like everything that we could craft, everything was tier 1. There wasn't anything higher than tier 1, at least not in my blueprints that I saw with my crafting machine. It's very base. It's very like entry-level stuff. I would guess there will still be a tech preview of base building by the end of the year. Excited for that. Yo, stick with that. Be amazing. I can't wait. I'll be excited to be able to bring some content around all that. I do plan to put out a couple of videos just on like what I experienced with that's a mole calling out. Oh, nice. With the tech preview and all, and future stuff as well. So that's going to be fun. And don't worry about the questions, man. Ask away. I love it. That's what I'm here for. Are we still waiting for our queue? Or... Hello, Krill 1. Your trusty regular is waiting for a hangar slot. I may have missed it. Will the Rock Geo ground rocks have quality levels also? Yes. Yes. In fact, a lot of people seem to be having better luck finding like high quality ground minables than they did ship minables. Quite a few people were having a good time with like Hadnite and all that, up in like the 800 and 900 quality. I didn't actually mess with any of the ground stuff, but can confirm that is very much of the same sort of crafting quality stuff. Once you know where to look, the crafting blueprints and ingredients and how the fabricator functions is actually pretty good. It was just learning how to get to that point that was a pain in the rear. That's why I'm looking forward to helping folks figure out how to do that stuff without going through the frustration that I went through. Alright, so we need to turn in 5 RMC here before we actually leave. I wish I had checked the missions before we left originally, but that's how it is. Alright. The moth looks like it wants to be the vulture with those stubby little claws on the side, yeah. It's so funny when they poke out too. They're like little grabby hands, as they call it. I love this thing though. It is a great ship. Alright, 1, 2. Most of these entry-level missions are going to be like 5 when you turn in RMC, or actually, yeah, pretty much just RMC, because the construction stuff can be like 10, 15, depending on which materials it is. That way, if regardless of the ship that you have, you can do the missions. That's why they say it could be construction materials or pieces or salvage. That way, you're not kind of pigeonholed into doing things with a certain ship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, cool. This should reflect. Bingo. And that should be another mission done. Under Adagio. Did it change our rep? Did we? Yeah, hell yeah. We're almost to applicant. Let's go. When you dismantle, does it show the quality of the materials you get back? Yes, it does. It shows you that when you dismantle an object, you're going to get, like, for example, one you buy from a shop, it'll say you're going to get aluminum and hephaestonite back at the 200 quality level. So, yeah, you get that info. The moth just wants uppies. It's like a little dog saying, pick me up, pick me up. You're so right. All right, let's go ahead and take a drink before we head out. Try to cram as many of these missions as we can in before I gotta go. Still got a little under an hour, so we're doing good. Gotta hydrate. I might need to get me a drink too. Wait, no, I do. Ha! Forgot. I've got my Rest in Peach Liquid Death. Love it. Actually got my buddy Ruck into the Liquid Death teas. They're friggin' good, dude. And I'm lucky my wife found it because she hates tea. She's not a tea person. But she thought of me when she saw it. She's like, I figured you might like this gross stuff for some reason. Now we need to name the moth. Yes, we do. We do need to name the moth. I have not the slightest idea of what to name her yet. Something like Mothra is 2 on the nose. Crab. Yes. That's what I think about with the little hands up front. I think about that commercial. Why no pinch? Little pinch? You know, you know. Also, am back. What's up, Upland? Alright. Let's get out of here. Use those aft thrusters to do a little flippy Bernie. Not even. Just kind of leaving. Alright. So, depending on our next mission, we got to go over to Krill 5, but we do not have everything we need here. We need 4 quantum drives still. So, this one we can't quite do yet either. So, let's go ahead and head over to one of these guys, Hurl 1 or Krill 4. Which one is closer? And I can actually check here, which is nice. So, 28 gigs versus 18 gigs. Let's do it. 18 gigs sounds good to me. Alright. Yo, kids, what's up? The name I was thinking too. What, Crab? Or I Pinch? Alright, let's spin around. Obstructed? Wait, that's not the one. What do you mean? That's the one I wanted. Why is it trying to navigate me to the other one? You... What are you doing? There we go. I need a second monitor again so I can play and watch. Nice. Get 3. Play, watch, work. Damn. I couldn't imagine the 3 monitor life. I felt like I was at the top of the world when I went up to 2 monitors, man. I was like, is this what it's like to live? Hell, it's the only reason I was really able to get into streaming. I couldn't imagine trying to do this off of 1 monitor, because how would I be able to monitor chat or like anything going on, look stuff up? It's tough. But yeah, when I'm playing on my own, if I'm in some Bellrite or Windrose or Star Citizen, Evo testing, I'll have YouTube playing, you know. I'll just be catching up on stuff, watching videos on all kinds of things, usually like about gaming or, I mean, hell, whatever the hell YouTube thinks I should watch, and then I get into it, usually deep diving some scientific topics or watching Starship Progression, which we're so close to fucking seeing the new launch pad and all get static fired, the new deluge system testing looks really cool. Man, Starship development. If you're a space geek and you're not following that, you got to start. Look up some people like What About It with Felix or Marcus House. Scott Manley is always a great resource when it comes to that. Ellie in Space does a lot of good coverage. Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Lots of great ways to watch that stuff. Oh, Crab. Hell yeah. The Crab. I wonder if anybody has thought to name their moth Mr. Krabs. Is that also 2 on the nose? Or the Krusty Krab? So in your latest testing, are there interstellar mission rep beyond rookie? No. We in the tech preview, we didn't have any hauling missions or anything available. We literally just had the combat scenarios, which, can we see those if we're not around a planet? So I think it was under mercenary. Yeah, these Gilly's Flight School. That's like all we had were these combat scenarios, and then like 1 or 2 other mercenary related missions, I think, just to get blueprints. We didn't have anything else, dude. I wish. I would love to be able to give some info on that. When the 4.7 PTU hits, though, I will let you know, because that's one thing I'll be looking for. Bro, I had 3 in like 2006, 2008. Life was great. 1 CRT, 2 LED, 2 of those were 24 3s and a 720. Nice, man. Zoidberg from Futurama. Yes, that's another great name. Just call your moth Zoidberg. I don't know. She kind of looks a little bit too cool to be Zoidberg. But I could imagine salvaging a ship and then flying away going whoop, 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 whoop. The claws. Too much. Alright, at least we actually got the ship icon, I think, which we're going too fast. Oh, hockey stop, hockey stop, hockey stop. Yes! Oh, look at how fast we're slowing down. This is amazing. We're going to pass it, but we're going to definitely catch our speed. Alright, then I'm going to go out of VTOL and boost towards it to slow down further. There we go. We're covered. Alright. There it is. I'm going too fast again. Jeez, man. I'm having too much fun. There we are. The Inferno looks so good stock, too, with that badass paint. Alright. Let's bring our speed down to 0. And let's get out there and unlock that thing. Wait, what? Littering around my ship? I mean, what the hell is happening here? Alright, there we go. Helmet's on. You can tell because of the square. If this is one of the things I tell people, if your map has like a square hologram or your health has a square hologram around it, that's one way to tell your helmet's on, because if you take your helmet off, it turns into a circle. So if you didn't know, it's a fun little way to double check without having to actually look to see if you have your helmet on. If you're square, you're good to go EVA. If you're circle, you're not going to live. You'll die. Bad times. Put your helmet on. Okay, drop this down. Huh. Never really held down 2 before. Alright, let's see if we can actually get the power plant off of this one, since we couldn't get it off of the Ion. God, that size 7 Gatling, man. It just looks so good there. Can we shoot it? If I turn this thing on? Come on, you can power up. What's up, Skull? How you doing? Oh, this thing's like dead. Alright, we'll just open all doors then. There's going to be an in-game RSI discount week. Oh, shit. Don't tell me that. Commander Mo, thank you so much for the follow. I just saw that. Sorry if that's a little delayed. All right. There we go. All right, shields. Can I put these down this way? Just where I can grab it easily enough. I should park a lot closer. All right, that did the weird thing that's happened lately. No, it didn't. It just disappeared on me. Maybe it'll show up when I get closer. In the PT, or in the tech preview, I was having stuff like teleport after I would let it go with my tractor beam, like back to where... Oh, no, it attached to the grid. That's probably what happened, because I was right next to it. Or you don't check, panic, and then Alt-H and EVA. Yeah, I remember when that didn't work. You had to like manually drag your helmet on and off to actually get it to register that you had a helmet on. That was scary. All right, yeah, I'll just throw those on my grid for now. That's actually kind of nice that you can do that. Forgot about that. Because that grid's got really good grab. Awesome. Okay, so power plant should be down here. Tuesday is Origin Jumpwork Spring Celebration, whatever that might be. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on. All right, there's the rack. So yeah, the power plant areas don't seem to be opening for some reason. Now there's like no button to interact with it. Confusing. I don't really understand why. Also the quantum drive. Nope, that's the whole ship. Yeah, wouldn't the quantum drive be down there too? How you liking the Moth compared to the Reclaimer? I personally, the Reclaimer's fun, but the Moth is more suited to my needs, both in its size as well as its being, you know, gold pass, a completed ship. So I do enjoy the Moth quite a bit. I definitely, it's my main workhorse, Utini daily driver sort of vessel for sure. You know, outside of combat stuff, it's my pure industrial workhorse. All right, yeah, I don't know why we can't find the quantum drive of the power plants. I just might be dumb. They mentioned there is a new Origin ship due out this year. Yes. Oh, so that should be the 200 series generalist ship, basically the Origin Clipper, or something similar. If that makes sense. I know that there are quite a few people excited to finally have an Origin ship that can be a decent daily like that. Not that there isn't already a good Origin ship out there. Let me know, guys. Any Origin fans that rock an Origin from day to day? Yep, there's the other shield that I lost. Yeah, I'd rather have the Moth in game than Reclaimer. Reclaimer's okay, but Moth would be better size-wise. I agree. And again, I really love the Reclaimer. It's a fun ship. But I'm better suited to the Moth size and what it can do, personally. All right, let's pull that off. Throw that right there. Okay. Send this back up so we can go ahead and go break apart that ship. I need to get rid of this RMC so I can make more room for components back here, consolidate a little bit. So I might just go ahead and do that because we are a little packed at the moment. Let's stack some of this stuff together. Just want to make better room. Cool, we can go 3 high there. Can I stack this on top of that one? Yes. So I should be able to stack all of these. Nope, that one, but I can go next to it. That works. Really? Why can't I? I mean, that's fine. They're not different sizes. Oh, there we go. That one can. Is it a matter of rotating it then? Is that why? Are they weird that way? Size 1 Thermax, size 1 Polar. Why you no stack? Huh? Why you no stack? Okay, that's fine. The 315 is a crazy cargo area. I used to bring the ship components and mining tools to my home base. Is the cargo grid on the elevator fixed on the 315? Oh yeah, I don't know. Actually I have a 315 now. I'll have to get more familiar with those ships. because I've heard it's a pretty good chip. Okay, can I rotate this to maybe... Yeah, there we go. Kind of fit it back here a bit better. That's what I wanted. Component Tetris, man. It's a little bit of a learning curve to get these to go where you want them to. Like, can this one go further out here? No, it's not a griddable spot. That's fine. That'll work. We're good for now. Different brand coolers may not stack. Man, look at that. Look at that. Brand competition down to the stacking mechanics. These days, I have a 227 16 laptop screen. Nice. Yeah, I'm running on two 34s. Asus Tough Gaming 34 curved. I think they're the 1500 curved series. I like these things. They're not like ultra wide. They're 16 by 9, which I thought was important, especially as a streamer, because for a while in my early streaming, my main monitor was actually an ultra wide 30, 37 or 38 Samsung that I actually still have. I'm trying to get rid of. It's kind of hard to sell monitors like that these days. I bought it originally for $1,200. I'm letting it go for about $5. So if any of you guys want a 4K Samsung monitor, might be able to make something happen. It's just sitting on my desk. The only reason I haven't used it is because I wanted 16 by 9 on both too. So like, it's a perfectly good monitor. I just need something different. All right, let's do this. I do like how these arms stretch out. It's awesome. All right, breaking her apart. Let's go. I have a 42-inch LG OLED. Damn. Yeah, mine is a 38 4K OLED. The Odyssey, the G8 Odyssey, if you're curious. I love how it is to fracture these things. It's so cool. 55-inch 4K TV. Yeah, that's a whole nother monster. I know a couple of guys in the Ollie group that play on a big-ass TV. Oh, cool. Fracturing gave me the completion for the mission. I like that. So I guess that means you technically can still just blow things up to get credit for the missions. 45-inch Scepter. Nice. Break all these apart. Only 1080 though. Yeah. I didn't realize that like the higher the resolution, like the lower the refresh rate on average. Like my 4K Samsung is a 175 refresh, but you can get like the smaller like 27 1080s, especially the flat screen, and have like 240 refresh rate, which is crazy. So how is it for those of you who play like on a TV? Like, is your input feedback and all, is it as crisp as it would be on a monitor? Do you notice anything weird about it? Because like for me, for example, this is not a really good analogy, but like playing Rocket League, like if I play it on Xbox on a TV, it felt like I had like mental input lag after playing it on PC. Like the feeling of being on a PC and a monitor. But granted, if you're just using the TV as your monitor, but you still play on PC, you probably don't have those problems. It's 0.5 seconds because OLED. Oh, interesting. That high refresh is only used if your video card can put out the many frames. Yeah, exactly. That's true. Alright, let's see. What other pieces are floating around here? There we go. There's one. Alright, while we're grabbing this one, I'm going to kind of look around to see. Okay, yeah, there's another piece up there, it looks like. Yeah, this one really kind of flew around here when it blew apart. Alright, so there should be one kind of up this way. There we go. That should be about it. Depends on which TV, but the LG C4 is very good refresh rate wise. Nice. Yeah, you can't use a TV with Rocket League. Yeah, it's I think it was more so because it was like Rocket League on Xbox than it would have been like Rocket League on PC. Or sorry, on a monitor playing on PC, if you know what I mean, console versus PC, but I don't know. I couldn't imagine using a TV for gaming, and 2026 monitors are the best. In my opinion, Moth and Reclaimer are only best if you only care about construction materials, but if you want scraping, better get smaller like Vulture and Salvation. Forget about the Fortune because it's too slow. Well, appreciate the opinion, Rinchley. Yeah, I kind of hit the nail on the head there because my preference, honestly, is breaking ships down and taking components. I don't really care about the RMC. Aside from trying to complete these missions. That's the only thing that really stands out. Let's see, what other ships we got? We got a raft. Isn't a raft gold standard? Oh, but they're such a pain in the ass to get components out of. I'm going to do that one just so I can show you. God, those suck. All right, what else we got? Scorpius is good for size 1. Terrapin. There we go. Now we're getting some freaking ships that we can pull parts out of. That's what I like to see. Oh, lost the ability to scroll. Come on. There we go. What else we got? Scorpius, yeah. Freelancer, Connie. Okay, so Scorpius. Okay. These days, most TVs have variable refresh rates, AMD FreeSync even. Yeah, that's another good point. You know, they're changing with the times. They're allowing themselves to be more malleable. Well, we have a lot of missions now. I should probably make sure we get through some of these. Collect and deliver on the following to Hurl 1. Okay, so we can do this one because we should have 10 SCU of construction rubble. Well, we got to get a little bit more because we only have the ability to pump out 8s. So Hurl 1, that's going to Hurl 1. So there we go. There's our method. That's what we'll do. We'll go to this salvage claim to get the other bit we need to finish this mission. Oh, I think it did it again. Why is it doing that? I clicked to navigate to this one that we're tracking, and it's trying to navigate me somewhere else. That's annoying. I got tons of salvaging stuff on my reclaimer over 2 days, then went to do Adagio missions and had 4 in a row fail to complete. I gave up and quit wasting materials. That is shitty to hear. I know that some folks that were having a hard time. I liked when we were comparing size and inches. That's good. Did my second message get filtered out again? These days, most TVs have variable refresh rates is the last one that I see. So, possibly. Alright, actually, while we're in Quantum, let me see if I can punch out a box. Let's see what we got here. Sitting on 10 construction pieces. Let's go. Eject. Like the objectives checkmarked and went green, but it wouldn't complete. There was no submit button. See, that's annoying. I haven't encountered that yet. I guess we'll see if we do today on a couple of these. That's super dumb. Damn. The Xbox version of Rocket League may have limits as well, frame rate wise. I know some games still do that for console version. Yeah, it felt very different, very unpleasant trying to play on Xbox after playing on the computer. It's almost like being on a PC, like, unlocked a whole new level of my reaction time in that game, and then going back to Xbox, it's like I had to relearn how to play. I was like, what is this crap? This sucks. I mean, after a while, you kind of get used to it because your brain sort of recalibrates, and then you can do a lot of the same stuff again, but it was just funny. It's almost like when you've had a car that you haven't changed your suspension on in forever, so you don't notice the slow degrade over time, but then when like you put new springs on it, it feels like you're driving a totally different car, because all of a sudden you know what good handling is again. You're like, wow, I didn't realize it was this different. I guess another loose analogy is like growing up with somebody, you never really notice how much they grow, but then if you don't see somebody for a few years and see them again and how much they've changed, you're like, oh, wow, that's crazy. When do you think they're going to drop Moth to dealerships? Even Salvation's still unavailable. Been too long now. I bet Salvation's coming with 4.7. That's my bet. It's usually 2 to 3 months. Moth will probably hit during like Invictus time. Oh, I lost pitch control. Is that still one of the bugs? If you pop out a box, you can't steer your ship anymore? Shit. Alright. I didn't notice any difference PC games versus PS5. Yeah, but specifically Rocket League. It might not just be... It's not like all games. Did you try right shift? I don't know if I locked myself. I don't usually hit right shift. No, I'm not locked. Now I am. But no, jumping into the right pilot seat, I got my stuff back. It's one of the known bugs, actually, with the Moth right now, is that when you're pumping out boxes, it can mess up your flight. There's like 8 issue consoles on this thing. The bug was if the cargo grids were full. Well, now it's also when they're not, man. I don't know what to tell you. It just happened. There's so many, man. Who knows? Who knows? We got a reclaimer up there. What are they doing? I wonder if I self-destruct that thing, if I can, I probably can't even get into it, though. It's probably not game rules, honestly. Come on, scan it. It is game rules. What? We might have to see what they have on board. Hang on, let's come out of scan mode and actually stop real quick. Perseus will probably be Wicklow. I would imagine a ship of that caliber probably is. You lose pitch yaw control when loading the side grids with more than about 92 SCU. Yeah, it was weird. It just lost pitch control, and then I swapped seats, and then I was good again. So who knows what happened, man. But hey, at least we can fly. Everything's offline. No cargo. So that's really not worth messing with. All right. Let's get back to our salvage claim, huh? Which we're pretty much right next to now. Moth and Hermes both have co-pilot flying, but that causes other issues. Yeah, well, I hadn't got into the, as you guys know, I hadn't got into the seat yet. But I'm glad that hopping into the seat fixed it. But yeah, I mean, if you got somebody with you, they like hijack so much of your control authority, which is frustrating to say the least. Okay, let's pop up about here. That should be pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, come down a little bit. Alright. Moth will be great. I got a mole after I use the Moth a lot. Hopefully CIG will bring it to gold spec soon. Yeah, I really, really, really hope the Moth gets, or sorry, the mole gets the Moth treatment, because it is going to be awesome. I am so going to stuff an ATLS Geo in my mole cargo bay. That way I can do ground mining as well as ship mining. It would be so awesome, dude. Yeah, Zeus also can be controlled co-pilot seat. Yep. Which I actually like that. I like having the ability to do both. I think that's pretty cool. I don't like all the control authority that gets jacked up, so hopefully they fix that. But being able to fly from both sides is pretty awesome. Alright. Standard procedure. Hop in, open all doors for easier access to all components. I'm actually going to hit this a couple of times to see if I can see where other stuff might be. Oh. Ooh, I see them. They're like behind the doors, not showing up there. I can see the power plants, though, from this view. Weird. Yeah, they did say they would update the mole with the Moth's lessons learned, but, you know, not the paint jobs. Yeah, exactly. Just like the Meteor and the Mantis, the Apollo and the Hermes. Probably future ships that'll have similar chassis, but non-similar paint jobs. Alright. We'll just kind of throw these over toward the grid for now. I do really like that function too. Alright, we also got our shields up here. Just this is a lot of... Damn it. Stop. Oh, you bastard. A lot of size 2 stuff is what I was trying to say as the ship kept interrupting me. Get back down. And stop moving. I'm going to let it balance out. You just don't move your tractor beam. It'll eventually come to a stop. There we go. Well, it's kind of boring with 2 people because the pilot does flying and fracturing, so co-pilot just sitting there for most of the time, yeah. Once the lasers are up to proper speed, I don't think that'll be the case. I think it'll be fun for everybody. Because they'll be able to get their scrape on. Pilot will be able to fracture stuff. Okay. So I know that it showed up in there. Oh, but it's not letting me engage with it. I saw them. I saw them when I was messing with the doors. They're right behind this frickin' spot, man. Oh well. It is what it is. Up, hold position. Just make this thing stop again. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and break it apart. This over here. Whoop. I wish that we could turn off gravity on our ships so we don't keep getting grabbed by our cargo bays when we're kind of EVAing like this. I think that'd be pretty cool. I kind of want you to go where I want you to, right there. Perfect. And then you. Oh, God, that scared the shit out of me. My window is kind of open and the wind just blew against my blind blackout curtain. I saw something move out of the corner of my eye. I was like, what's that? Letting that cool air in because we're on a freaking freeze warning in Florida again right now. Our climate doesn't know what the hell to do, man. But it's nice for my my office because my PC gets some natural cooling. It's also why I'm in a damn hoodie because I just figured let it stay cool for the sake of my computer and shit. Like a little jump scare midstream. Yeah, you guys getting the same thing? It's weird, dude. It's we're on another freeze and fire warning because we're on a no burn notice because of a drought. Plus the really high-speed winds, which is pretty common here, on top of it being super cold. So we have a simultaneous freeze alert and fire alert. Good times. Good times. I'm in Destin. Nice. I am down in Haines City, kind of in between Tampa and Orlando. So we are basically on opposite ends of Florida. It'll be a tornado warning this weekend. Jeez. Yeah. I like the cooler weather. But the whiplash is what almost got me sick recently. So I'd like for it to kind of balance out a bit. All right. Whoops. Well, you know, little bump. It's not going to buff out because I'm about to just break it. But yeah. There we go. Fracture time. Neat, man. Lived in West Palm Beach when I was a little kid. Nice. When I did Alliance 8, I joined a person with a Hermes, turned on my HUD and Copilot, turned it off again. I thought it would only affect the HUD, but actually affect the whole controls, yeah. So we crashed outside Lev. Oh, no. Oh, sad face, man. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. All right, I'm going to back out so I get a good idea of where everything's spinning around to, okay? This thing's going crazy. Yeah, don't worry. A lot of us have been there. Yeah, and that's pretty much any turret and just about any ship, too. If you turn off your turret, you likely kill power to the whole ship. It's not great. Damn, blinds keep moving. It is throwing me off. All right, here we go. I'm trying to get into a habit of doing this where I keep the other debris in my line of sight so I don't lose track of where everything is. $48 in the Netherlands at the moment. Winter seems over. Yeah, it's pretty warm for you guys, right? It's been about 8 Celsius most of today here, which is pretty low for Florida this time of year. Any time of the year, really. There we go. Try to keep all these in line so I can see them. Up back to about 5. Cool. So when I get the main piece, that should be enough to turn in the mission right here at Hurl 1, I think is where we are. The Dutch are taking over. Yeah, it's been a little whiplashy for us, too, with the hot and cold sort of back and forth stuff going on. Yeah, there we go. Cool. I'll definitely have enough for my other 8. Nom, nom, nom. Then we'll head over to Hurl 1 to turn some stuff in, finally get applicants, see what those quests look like. We're coming up in the world, guys. Mid-30s in PA, ready for spring, no doubt. Yeah, my wife and I are ready to go back to Volcano Bay. That was like our favorite little tradition on Saturdays. We would get there at open at like 9, set up our stuff. Like, we'd bring sandwiches and like go and find a spot with like the little the sand area and chairs right by the lazy river, and then spend some time just kind of floating around the lazy river, catch some sun, maybe ride some stuff, and we'd be out of there by like no later than 1300 by the time it's starting to get busy. And we're home, we got our tan, we got our like sort of beach time, and then we're done. All right, let's go ahead and get under control here. We'll hockey stop action as we're coming into our hangar area. Here we go. Get our velocity indicator where we want it. I can kind of feel it down left. There it is. Gear down. By the way, thanks for the encouragement to try solo mole. It's awesome. Wish I'd done it sooner. Hell yeah, Essential. Let's go. Yeah, years and years of using the mole solo. It's only kind of intimidating when you haven't done it yet, but probably after a couple of days, you're like, you know what? This feels fine. I got this. It's, again, you know, not for everybody, but I definitely enjoy these ships a ton. All right. Let's bring this down nice and gentle right here. Perfect. Solo Mo is lots of fun. Bit worried about what's on Evo at the moment. It's Evo is okay. It's kind of like I was talking about with SC Haulers, and it seems that most of his audience sort of agrees with this too, that the dumbing down of mining is sort of necessary to kick off crafting in a way that doesn't overly break everything. But it is kind of a bummer. I'm not sure how much of what we tested this weekend is going to be the final product. I know that inert material is not going to be as bad as it was. The single ore stuff, I think, is going to be like that. But again, I think for the sake of getting crafting going, it probably makes sense. Prospector greater than Mole for me? Well, hell yeah, somebody's got to love that shit. Let's go. Solo Mole is fine as long as there's no wind. What's up, Sofreal? Hey, man, haven't seen you in a bit. Thank you for popping in the chat, buddy. Yeah, it's true. Even with wind comp, if you're trying to solo mole like one of the moons around Microtech or even like on a main planet, the wind can be a bit frustrating because you can't actively maneuver your ship. So you park it and then you just start moving and you're like, son of a bitch. But yeah, I mean, you guys know me. I'm mostly a belter. You know, I'm out in space, so I don't really deal with wind. And if I'm mining planet side, I'm usually like around Celen or Daymar or something, which is also not really dealing with that. Okay, let's see. Hurl 1, 5 recycled material. Oh yeah, shit, I gotta go up and make the other 8. Damn it. Yeah, so that's all we're doing. 5 recycled material and wait, 15 pieces. Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine because we'll have 2 8s. That's perfect. Hold on. Well, I'll leave that down. We'll use the elevator because we got 2. Let's go. Been lurking in chat. Hands busy with gaming. Hey, I hope you're having a good time. You're always welcome to lurk, my friend. Always. Belta Loda, exactly. I can't wait. I mean, you guys have already seen my excitement about the Ironclad and like living out in the belt and shit. Oh, I'm so ready. Prospector's my sweetheart. Yeah, Prospector was the first mining ship I spent a lot of time with until I got my mole. And then I would kind of divide my time between the two. It kind of depended on the situation, really. And then the Golem came out, and my Prospector went bye-bye. Why am I going all the way to the pilot seat? I don't need to do that. I just need to come over here and pump out the other 8 of construction pieces. Inert materials, not with an impact 2. 3 filter XLs. Green mole owner here. What's up? But yeah, those 3 customizable lasers are very nice, definitely. Yeah, currently in the tech preview, or at least before they close it out, the inert was pretty bad. It was like 80% of all of the rocks. So that was rough. But they let us know. They're like, this is not going to be what it's like in the final build. It's just for their testing purposes on this tech preview. All right. Throw this around here. So these 2 will work, and I should get 1 single SEU box back. Because you can overturn in with bigger boxes, and then you get the rest back in the form of change, basically, which is really cool. This will get us finally up to the next level. I hope I didn't just throw that too hard, because if that goes to the wall, I lose it. I think it's okay. is 3, this is 4, and 5. These I all got from, I think, just my time in the Vulture. I didn't do any RMC stuff out of the Moth, which I think this is probably where I'm going to end up wrapping it to. So we'll go ahead and send that up. I'll just remember that I'm at Referral 1. Let's get that other box greeted. Don't forget your limpets. Oh, wait, wrong game. Haha. Wait, limpets, like in Crab Champions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I know. I used to love messing with those in Elite Dangerous. That was a good time. Basically, our drones. May Monster, I don't know. Possibly. Let me scroll up a little bit. Maybe I just missed you asking. No, last thing I saw from you was the hot and cold thing, actually. Okay, there's that one. Boy. I guess we'll see if this works. Hopefully I didn't misread that quest. One of the following. Damn it! Is this what happened to you? I'm not going to get credit for that. I wonder if it is bugged to need, like, all of it. Ah, it's so stupid. Yeah, that didn't work. Because, yeah, there's no way to submit. Platform switch, yep, that's what happened. And it even happens on the RMC only one. Damn, really? So I got one complete on the RMC only. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot this. Because if there isn't an issue council, you know me, I'm going to make one. I know that in some of the hand mining missions, for example, you need to turn in all of it. And I'm wondering if it's maybe bugged to that. So I might have to pull out the reclaimer back at Levski, since it's got the salvage, and then get my hands on some rubble and pieces and see if it is an all 3 thing for some testing. But there is an issue for it. Okay, cool. If there is, yeah, I'll just contribute to it. That's cool. The main objective shows green. Lots of missions are having the same issue, not just these. Okay, so it's a larger mission problem. Whichever it is, yeah, I'll take a peek. The question was, is it wise to sell construction materials to Grimhex or just find a TDD? I actually don't know the direct answer to that, but we can actually look that up real quick. Let's see if UEX Corp has any info for us on if one is more profitable than the other. It should just be listed on here as CMATs, right? Yeah. Damn, 15K, nice. Okay, so sell. So, your best bet are going to be all the ones at the top here. Where is Grim? Is Grim on here? Yeah, Grimhex is down here pretty low, actually, as far as the others, at about 12.8. The TDs are closer to 15K. The best one being Port Tressler, apparently. Not a TDD, but like a main station. So, yeah, you're taking about a 3K hit per SCU, dropping it off at Grimhex. Or any of these other ground sites here. You get over 14K, getting up into 15K and 16K at these other places. So, hopefully that's helpful. There's the IC ticket. Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and get that on here. Let's go. Cool. All right, yeah, so if you guys have never contributed to an IC, I can show you how to do it. It's really easy. Mining and salvage objectives complete, but stay accepted. So you would just hit contribute. Yes, I did have this issue. It's not, yeah, hardly playable is accurate because you can't complete the mission. So, like, the game is playable, but barely. I agree with that. So that's what I named my computer. The current game version. We're not in tech preview. Current version. And then next. And then I'll add my screenshot evidence that I just took, just so I'm contributing more than just that. And I'm going to take this off screen because just in case there's stuff that you guys aren't supposed to be seeing on there. Where did it just go? There it is. All right. There shouldn't be because I don't think I took any screenshots on that. But let's see. There we are. Save evidence. And then that's it. I'm just going to hit submit. And there we go. We've contributed to the issue. Oh, here we go. QA has completed their initial triage and investigation. The issue has been handed off to the appropriate development team as of a week ago. So cool. They are actively working on this. Hell yeah. That is awesome. And I think with that, I can't really get anything else done in the next, show us Evo clips. No. No. Not here. Some of the screenshots were from AA missions too. Yeah, I've done a lot. I did some recording of Evo just so I can reference back to it for videos, but I don't think I took any Evo screenshots. Yeah, no Evo clips. Is your character 100% hydrated? Pretty close. I don't know, actually. I don't know. Based on that skull, I'm probably lacking some nutrients there. Dad, we're not supposed to tell people about those. Come on now. The Star Citizen only feet clips. Is that red tractor rifle better than the yellow? It's just a skin. It's just a skin. That's all it is. Yeah, it looks like we're hydrated. I might as well just go ahead and... Well, we'll just store that. It's fine. Yeah, all right. We'll do some heals. There we go. Now we're slightly drugged. Only cruise. Let's go. Hell yeah. All right. Let's find ourselves an awesome Star Citizen content creator to raid out to as we conclude today's stream. So on the YouTube side, that's pretty much all she wrote, guys. Oh, and thank you, Ryan D, for the follow. I see that pop up. I appreciate you, my friend. On Twitch side, we're going to get this raid started. And yeah, it's just an AA skin that they added on top of the green one. So I think if you completed over 30 or 50% of the total, or maybe it's collections, you should have it. It should be at your home base. So that's where you can find it. All right. Let's do this. Who do we got streaming today? Oh, let me click on somebody to see if they're speaking English, huh? Not that one. There we go. All right. That was funny timing. The little laugh there. Okay, here we go. Cool. We got Expabret. I don't know who this is, but they're playing Star Citizen. Look like they're having fun. Thanks for the stream. Keeping me sane at work. I am happy to help Teneth as always. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with me today, messing around with some salvage and chatting about Evocati and the future of mining and all. I'm looking forward to seeing those brought into our game. I am loading up the raid now. This one's going to work. Hell yeah. So, Ball Plan, Tanith, Solace, Lua, everybody here. Is that red tractor rifle better? Oh, no, I answered that. Awesome. I just saw that and want to make sure. Edric, as always, thank you guys. We are ready to launch. We are hitting the raid. Mr. Pants, what's up? Thanks, Hazard. You too.